All right.
Oh, that's the ArcLight, yeah? FX.
That's because Lando finally reviewed his today, and I'm a big fan of the ArcLight. So
I've been meaning to look at that and see and watch that video. I've been trying to do so much stuff around here. Actually, let me get my. I have a Weihnachtsbier. It's Christmas beer, German.
I got my big cranky with the big bird
right.
on. This is my favorite. I don't remember the name of the. I don't have enough light here to see what the name of the brewery is. I've forgotten, but.
And you know it's German when you have these little resealable bottles.
Yeah.
These things are awesome.
They know how to make bottles. It's just like in America, we just recycle all this stuff, and in Germany, and you keep all the bottles because they're too nice to throw out, or you reuse them for something, or Belgium, wherever. All right, so you want to do a
hello, Swolo like Solo. Welcome everybody. Glad to have you out here joining us tonight. This is my first time actually hosting a live stream, so we'll see how things go with me at the helm and trying to figure out how some of these buttons and things work. But
doodads,
exactly.
Figuring out.
We'll see how it goes.
What you have to figure out which of the comments you have to post, and it's just you get to a point where you just you click on all of them, and because you always end up behind somewhat. So hello everyone.
Yeah. So I got myself a little festive setup here since this will be our last stream before the holiday. So I've got my little tree over yonder, and we're going to be nice and warm and cozy by the fire.
I did have a little tree down here, but it ended up upstairs. So yeah. Okay. And what you have a little digital fire? I actually I have a fireplace right here. I just don't have anything to put into it. Gas and if I put something into it and lit it on fire, I'll probably burn the house down anyway because I don't know when the last time the chimney was clean. So. So I've got everything.
Well, so just want to say hello, everybody, and welcome. This is my first live stream that I'm hosting with my great friend and guest over there. Sorry, Darth Paradigm, and we have something special to do for you this week, and that's going to be on Black Friday. Scott and I both ordered mystery boxes from Saberforge. He got a champion tier, and we both got veteran tier sabers, and I also got a boneyard. So it's been killing us because we've been sitting at our boxes for a little over a week now, and now's the day that it's finally come where we can toast these sabers and have some good fun and laughs and chats with you. So you already know who we are. I'm Great Paladin. That's Darth Paradigm.
I'm Darth Paradigm, and we pretty much both kind of do the same thing, saber reviews, but I think you're a little bit more creative with the themes. I
try to be,
but I do.
Well, I'm like, well, I'm like you, where I kind of got started watching
Sidious
Sabers, and he had a lot of sabers, and he had a lot of good information and things, but let's face it, he was boring.
He was dry.
And I thought, very dry. And I thought, what can I do?
Very pedantic. But
what can I do to present this stuff, but make it more fun and exciting, something that I would enjoy? So I try to be creative with my stuff, and
And me, I do crazy.
Sometimes I succeed, sometimes there's fails. That's right. Great. I do sound like the Gorn. I'm weary of the chase. I knew you would appreciate that.
Let me ask you a question. Before there's a delay.
Yeah.
Before we get too deep into this, how is my picture quality okay?
You look good. You sound great.
Because I'm in my normal location, but I'm using the other router. So, hopefully there'll be no issues this evening like there was during, what was it, 2 live streams ago? When I looked like I was on Mars.
Yeah, that was a bit rough.
Yeah, that was embarrassing. It really was. Isaac's like,
well, I mean, what can you do? It wasn't your fault. Without further ado, let's get our beers going here before we really get started.
You want
the toast?
The toast to what?
To our mystery box sabers, and let's hope that the odds are forever in our favor. So.
All right, to the mystery boxes.
To the mystery boxes. Over there. Yeah, clink. There we go. Yeah, there he is.
Okay, so what I'm hoping for, the box is a little bit on the heavier side, but what would really be cool, I'd like to get a Malgus, but whatever. Like a Bane Mark II, I have a Bane Mark I. Any of the hilts with the bluing on them, I like something like that.
Fury, Sinister Prophecy.
Something like that.
For that.
I had a mental list of the kinds of things I was looking for, but and I have a mental list of things that Actually, the funny thing is and I want to at some point later on, I'm going to show off my progeny that I got with my champion tier, because Zach from Darth Raven's Nerd Nest, he was inquiring about that hilt, and I told him that there's a couple customizations that Saberforge did to that doesn't appear to be available if you just buy the hilt on their website. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Nothing major, it's just subtle. But anyway, you've got your box behind you.
Oh yeah,
I've got my
box.
It's
nice and warm by the fire.
It's on fire.
Ike wants to know what we're drinking. So Ike, I have a Weihnachts beer, which is German for Weihnachten, or Weihnacht is Christmas. So it's a Christmas beer from Germany.
And I've got Big Cranky, mate. Double IPA.
Ooh, because one isn't enough. Silver Bullet, thank you. I thought I would make it a bit festive and I've been looking forward to this live stream with Paradigm for quite some time. So I wanted to have a nice little backdrop here before we take off for the holidays.
And you kept messaging me about it, but I was always at work and getting my ass kicked. It's like, yeah. So I was a little subdued in my responses, but yes, I've been excited for this too. City of Sabers Drive, I don't think so. He did he did a review. He did a lot of reviews poolside, and he also he had a waterfront. He would always
I remember that. I mean, obviously he was loaded, but yeah, he had some nice backdrops and that waterfront. I wish he did more of his showcases there, because it was really nice, I thought.
The thing that always kind of surprised me about him is he didn't really have skill with the lightsaber per se. I mean,
none whatsoever. He was just a fan.
I think he was more about it was kind of collecting art for him. He had the money, and anyway, Sidious, if you're out there somewhere, just let us know you're okay, because some people didn't quite miss him.
Yeah,
but,
we miss you.
I'm one of the people that didn't.
I did.
Yeah.
Thank
so
you
anyway, how are we gonna? We just. Hey man, I've got my knife. I'm ready to do some boxing.
You call that a knife? That's not a knife. I have a box cut.
Knife. Yeah.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, shall we do this? We're going to unbox these mystery boxes and see what we got going on.
I'm tired of waiting. Hey, all you guys out there, go ahead and guess if you're so inclined. Guess in the comments.
Oh yeah, Put your guesses down there.
Because they could be any hilt. They could be a Shoto or a crystal something or other. Or warrior.
And if you're not sure of an exact hilt, you can guess that it's like apprentice or elite or Shoto.
And there we go.
So much paper. I'm going to put this in the fire.
Oh, the weather outside is wonderful, and the fire is so delightful. There's no place to go. Let's open up the safe.
Okay, so I can already tell you I have a thread-in LED here.
Damn, dude. You already
Which
win.
means this could possibly be a thin neck.
Oh.
Now I could say that threading is not very deep. It's not like my NeoPixel blade. You have it too. Okay.
Weird, huh? Okay.
Around, yeah.
All right. So we all have the requisite junk, as you always see. And this thing is heavy. What are you? Kind of a
Mine's a thin neck.
I have a thin neck too.
Whoa.
This is trying to really get interesting. Oh boy.
And look who's hiding behind the box. Oh.
So let's just show off the packages. Where is yours? Yeah. Pretty hefty.
Oh, I see a data card. I think this is a Redeemer.
I'm kind of, yeah, dude, right here. I have one. Can you see it?
Yeah, dude, this is crazy.
If we've just both got the same thing, that's just gonna be insane.
So Swolo was guessing Oracle Shoto. I didn't see that too soon. So if you get a Paladin or Remnant, I'm happy to take it off your hands. I just happen to take anything off of our hands. And Ares, okay.
My paperwork.
That's right, Swolo. It's getting real exciting real fast.
You want to like unravel these things? Oh, you're okay. We're waiting.
Getting caught up on these. That's a good question, Ike. Are they threading all of their sabers now? I don't know.
No, my progeny was not threaded.
Okay, good.
And I'm happy for it because they're
both guessing that we have the same saber. Okay.
I'm thinking that if we do, it's just gonna be insane.
Okay. All right. Now this blade's getting in my way here. Move this out. Okay, let's do this.
Okay. I gotta slow down a little bit. Let's get rid of the.
Sorry.
Charging
cable.
Junk.
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
I think we got the same saber, man.
No kidding.
Yeah, it's the Redeemer.
That's insane.
No flipping way. We both got the same saber. Oh man, what are the odds? I love you, bro. This is hilarious.
And then
oh my goodness.
Here we go. Get the let's see.
Yep, the data card with the magnet on there.
Yeah, does it have the same? This is the same face. This is
same pattern. Yeah, I think so.
Oh my. But seriously, you got to
But get
admit,
this though. This is hilarious. My tape has DP on there. Maybe this is supposed to go to you.
wait a
Darth
minute.
Paradigm.
I think Saberforge has been watching us. I don't have anything written on it, but
if that said GP on there, then I would say like, holy crap.
you got to admit this is a score. I mean, I have a redeemer.
This is
but
a
it's
beautiful
older
saber.
one.
Holy crap.
This is just
my goodness. That is nice, man.
Is this like the Mark II or something like? I don't know the differences. Now I can do a comparison video. Wow, this thing is so beautiful. Oh, is this a blade plug? Or is that how it looks? Is that
that's how it looks?
That's how the
that's how it looks. That's because that plug, that jack goes into the blade, which powers it to light up.
That is really cool. It's like it almost looks like a blade plug in its own right, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
What
so
we get the same saber. No cover tech though. But there's the screw on there for it.
I've got a cover tech.
What?
Look.
I did not get a cover tech.
See?
Yeah.
What's this?
Oh, that's the kill key. Oh,
kill
I'm saying
key.
The cover tech wheel for like.
Oh no! I'm sorry. I'm brain dead. Right? I'm just like so stunned.
But the screw is there for a cover tech though. You see?
No, I got a cover tech.
Oh, I didn't get a cover tech. What? Come on, Saberforge. What the fuck, man?
Yeah, he's hosting and everything.
Fortunately for them, I have spare cover techs in my install stock here.
If you write to them and tell and show them this, they'll be like, "Oh, we're sending it. It's on its way." Oh my!
Probably.
All right, I want to turn this thing on.
Yeah, 28 millimeter speaker down there. That's good.
Yeah. What can you say? What can you say? Worth every penny, huh?
I'd say. Wait.
Ooh.
So what's interesting is, in order to put the kill key in, you have to take the clamp card off.
Yeah.
It just goes right on there. But my clamp card doesn't go on very easily. It's like
turn it around.
Oh.
Do a. Sometimes
it's still very loose.
Mine's Is the magnet going into the little hole there?
I would think so, but I'm afraid to push it because it's going to turn the saber on.
It doesn't stay on really very tight.
No, it doesn't at all.
I don't think this is
So there's no smooth swing here.
Yeah, I think this is but it has heirloom. Is this?
Yeah, mine's on heirloom right now.
Huh?
Yeah, mine's on heirloom right now too. But I'm surprised that it doesn't have smooth swing. So well, first off, I want to say that this is a really good looking hilt. But I'm disappointed in the clamp card because the magnet's not very strong, so it doesn't stay on too well.
Yeah, it's really floppy.
Yeah, like that can easily fall off when you're swinging the thing around. But I feel like it's not really going all the way in there. But you know what? We could probably just find some stronger magnets to put on there. I'm thinking.
All right, I'm in the menus here. Let me
Sensitivity 5.
The depth for the blade with this thread in, oh, that's not. So no wonder people said these things are breaking off because it's barely going in.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Select mode sensitivity 5.
So looking at this thread and blade,
Particle size.
look how shallow the threading is here. That's not very long. Now, this is my NeoPixel blade, and you can see how long the threading is there. And then this is the other one. So, yeah, that's not very much.
Optical
Yeah, I
frequency
want that.
2.
So that makes me a bit nervous. So hearing about people saying like, "Oh yeah, this is they swing it. They were swinging and they said that the saber or the blade just broke off." I can see why, because it's not very deep at all. Once I screw this into the hilt, you can still see like the top of that, which means one could whack. This gets hot from the light or the LED, and it becomes more brittle, and that can just break right off. Yeah, you can still see some of the threading right there. So
Let me guess. Sorry, I've been in my own little world. It definitely.
So it's a single color and no flash on clash.
Prodigal son.
Ranger's blade. The master.
I'm just gonna let him fiddle. It's not Saber Core 3.0 though. The menus are different. But I'm I'm kind of confused by what this is.
Well, it's first harvest.
It definitely is. That's what my impression was.
Yeah, I mean, all the veteran tiers are first harvest. But the downside is we don't know much about it. And I thought it was going to have smooth swing, but apparently it doesn't.
As did I. Didn't they have like a video? I could have swore it had smooth swing in the video.
They did. It's up on it's on YouTube.
Well, then I'm very confused. This card is a real tragedy.
Yeah. But I mean, the hilt design itself is really nice. I mean, this is Obi-Wan. It's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
Long time. I'm kind of
We'll
feeling like
caught up in some of our comments here.
Yeah, go ahead for it. Plant 9, it's not an old board. Well, depends on what you define as old, I guess. You know what? Ugh. Oh no, I know. I actually like the Saber Core. I'm one of those weirdos that likes the Saber Core 3.0. There, you can usually get them for a little bit less.
Cyber assassin. Dark side ready.
I can tell you it's not Saber Core, and the reason why is because Saber Core can only hold 3 fonts, and this has the whole gambit. This is all 10.
Error.
This 1,
Prodigal son.
2,
Ranger's blade.
3,
The master.
4,
Cyber assassin.
5,
Dark side ready.
6, 7, 8.
Error.
So there's 8 on here.
Prodigal son.
Ranger's blade. The master.
Cyber assassin.
The master.
So I have to say, I am disappointed that there's no smooth swing in this first harvest board. I was hoping that there would be.
Cyber assassin.
Dark side balance.
Error. Main menu. Select optical frequency 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Select sound intensity low, high. Select impact sensitivity 5, 6. Select motion sensitivity 5.
So
7.
let's address Ike here.
Cyber assassin.
He wants to know.
Sorry. The swing wasn't working very well at all in mine, and I had to boost that.
He wants to know if the veteran tier mystery box is worth the money, in our opinion.
Well, honestly, the hilt made it worth the money, but the board not so much. Just by virtue of not having smooth swing, that's a deal breaker right there.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mind the sound font selection. I don't mind everything else about it, but it's just, I don't know, it's just strange. It's a disappointment.
Yeah, I agree. I wasn't definitely wasn't expecting that. What's interesting is because I actually ordered a First Harvest board from Saberforge Etsy because I was going to install it in one of my sabers, but now I don't know.
It seems to me that maybe Plan 9 is onto something. I mean, this behaves very much like a saber core. It just has more sound.
Yeah, it does.
And you said it only has
sound
8
fonts,
sound
yeah.
fonts? Huh? Yeah, I
Yeah.
think we basically got some kind of like prototype board that just, I don't know, never maybe made it to mass market, or people have seen so few of them. I kind of feel a little bit like there's there was like kind of the advertisement for this thing kind of alluded to the fact that it was going to be what we thought it was going to be, and I'm feeling a little snookered.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is just so strange that like everything about tonight's been weird. I haven't had nearly enough to drink yet.
Well, I'm currently looking at some things here.
I'm really
And
confused by this.
So if I can hold on, see if I can do this.
Dark
I don't know
side.
if that's working. I'm wondering, how do I share my screen? Oh, here it goes. Okay, so hopefully everyone is seeing this. Are you seeing this?
I am.
The First Harvest soundboard. Okay, so looking at this, it says the First Harvest soundboard is an entry-level board. This soundboard is used in our veteran and veteran RGB sabers. It features 10 sound fonts, auxiliary effects, programmable blade flicker, color change, and accelerometer for smooth swing motion detection. We don't have that. It says 10 sound font banks holding 10 clash, 10 swing, ignition deactivation, idle hum, blah, blah, blah. Now, I don't know if it's something that we have to adjust in the settings, but
I'm thinking maybe we have to boost the the swing setting till its maximum. Maybe that kicks it in or something. I'm gonna give it a
And it
look.
does say all soundboards are tested before shipping. Now, that's the
Menu.
back side of the board.
Frequency.
Now, I'm sharing the audio. Let's listen to this here.
Select sound intensity low. 5.
Yeah, smooth swing matches your movements.
Sensitivity 5. Select sensitivity 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
ominous,
Blade effects.
error. Main menu. Select. Select sound intensity high. Select impact sensitivity high. Select motion sensitivity high.
So we get the gist of it there.
7, 8, 9. All settings saved. Error.
So I'm a bit concerned because I feel like we have something different than what they showed on the internet.
Yeah, this is
And unfortunately, I can't unscrew this to open it to see what's on the inside.
this whole
That's in there really good.
blade system here. Very unsettling. I don't feel like I can save. I mean, I don't feel like I can swing this saber with quite the amount of force I would prefer to.
Gusto.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I feel like I've just been given a really, really pretty shelf warmer, or what's the colloquialism? A shelf queen.
Hello, Absolute. Welcome. We are enjoying some beer, and we just unboxed our Veteran Tier mystery boxes, and we, funnily enough, both got the Redeemer Obi-Wan sabers hilts. So,
And aside from that, we're both equally disappointed. Yay!
now I have to say, the hilt is really nice. I do like the hilt, and Obi-Wan saber is obviously, it looks good. Some disappointments. The clamp card has a magnet on it that's not very strong, so it doesn't seat itself in position very well. It's very, very loose. We were expecting to have smooth swing and all of these extra features, but we're not really seeing that. It feels like we just have a glorified. It sounds like we have a saber core that just holds more fonts. So that's very disappointing.
3.1.
Yeah. But I just shared the screen and showed that video, and the video and the description of those mystery boxes said that we should have been getting the first Harvest soundboard, but I don't think that's what's in here. But if it were Saber Core, it would have a micro USB port so you can connect it to your computer, because that's what Saber Core did. This doesn't have that. It just has a regular 2.1 millimeter recharge port.
What do we have? That's the mystery. Now we have to write the Saberforge and bust their chops a little bit. And
So Forged by Light, I would love to see the chassis, but I can't. None of these. I mean, they like to glue their parts together, so I can't unscrew this, and the chassis doesn't slide out. So right now, I don't know what's inside because I could glance at it and I'd be able to know if it's First Harvest or Sabercore or something, but I can't see the soundboard.
That's exactly how my Redeemer with the Sabercore 3.0 is. I mean, everything's just completely sealed. I mean, they make it next to impossible to actually get in here without basically destroying the Saber. I was figuring it to be a little bit different, but it just is not.
So now I have the three main thin necks. I've got the Redeemer, I have a Crystal Prodigal Son, Luke Saber, and I have the Exalted. Mark 1.
That's your thin necks.
Yep.
So I've got my Saber Trio Aaron. I've got my my original Redeemer, this Redeemer, a Prodigal Son. I have my Electrum Sabercraft's Aurora, and I also have the Talon, which is essentially a thin neck saber, and possibly a few others that I'm not remembering off the top of my head. Yeah. Wow. Anyway, so that's weird. Weird.
Yep.
I'm gonna. Yeah.
Well,
I wonder
that
if it
must
was,
do. That must have do. Then drink those sorrows away, huh?
yeah. Okay, so who wants to see my progeny? So this was my champion tier, and a couple interesting points that I wanted to make is you see this D ring. For some reason, they don't offer that on Saberforge website. They only offer the CoverTech wheel. And the other thing I noticed that was different is you see the little metal rivets that go around the handle. On the one on the website, they have an extra set of rivets here that are missing on mine, which I don't mind. Let me see. Of course. Come on now. What are you doing? Why are you not?
Sound menu.
There we go.
Eternal Prince.
See, this is where I'm confused.
Classic.
Oh, sorry, you working with your progeny. Okay, never mind. I thought that was your Redeemer talking like that.
Prodigal Son.
Dark side rebel. Frozen winds.
Error.
Bear with me. I'll get to what I want.
Ranger's blade.
Paradigm. Shannon wants to know if that has the screw in blade.
Cyber assassin.
Dark harvest. Father's lightsaber. This is the weapon of a Jedi.
Hello.
I suggest
Shannon wants to know if that.
This time.
I'm just going to go ahead and mute him for a second. No, it does not have the screw in blade, Shannon. It's just the standard regular blade that goes in there with LED that shines as normal, which makes it much better.
Mute me.
That's right. We don't want to hear saber menus the whole night.
Oh man. See, this is what we were expecting. Right? Did we get that? No.
So absolute. I have to say that I think it's worth it owning a Saberforge now. I think there's a lot more value in their sabers, especially now that they're using Golden Harvest. The only issue that I have now is I felt like we got some false advertising when it came to the Veteran Tier mystery box, where they said it was a First Harvest soundboard and they had all these videos up for Smooth Swing, and I just shared my screen and showed the description of mystery sabers, and it said it's supposed to have Smooth Swing, and we don't have that. So this is probably going to be an email that I'm going to send to Saberforge wondering what the deal is, and then I'll probably have to wait till 2 weeks before they respond to me.
I'll likely be emailing them myself as well.
Yeah.
At the
Thank
very
you, Ike, because the pain is real. I'm charging mine right now, and maybe sometimes, sabers don't perform up to their full potential when the battery's low. So seeing if that might do anything, I doubt it. And then I also got cheated on the cover tech too, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, Shannon, I would definitely go for the champion tier. At least that way, you know what you're going to get. You're getting Golden Harvest, and it's going to be customizable, and it's a good hilt too. But mostly, the electronics are going to be really on par. Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. I hope they're not slipping into their old ways too, because I feel like as of late, they've been doing so much better. And if they go back to poor practices, then that's a huge letdown. Let me address Kush Smoke Jones here, because he commented on my one of my videos asking about Art Sabers. If there's anyone in the thread who has ordered from Art Sabers or has any experience with them, please comment down below. I personally haven't ordered from Art Sabers. I know that their prices tend to be a bit high. I know Stony Magnum has their Nomad, I think. He said it was really heavy and very uncomfortable and not really a saber that you want to handle with, but he said it looked really good.
This is actually, I can answer this question because I have ordered from Art Sabers. I bought the silver crusher with the
that's
Eco
right.
Smooth Swing soundboard.
I didn't know Art Sabers.
And it is a phenomenal hilt. I kind of went back and forth with the Eco Smooth Swing. I even put in a Dark Wolf Custom Sabers Profi 2.2. Which I've transferred into another hilt, and I actually put the Eco Smooth Swing back into the Silver Crusher, and it performs a lot better with the lighter soundboard and the lighter blade, and it's very, very well balanced, very well constructed. It's one of my favorite LGT inspired hilts. It's a masterpiece. Now, as far as my experience ordering from that company, I had no issues. They communicated well with me. They shipped my package and my saber, and everything was in order. And I had a good experience with them. But I have seen many videos recently, where people have had some less than enjoyable experiences with them. So it's one of those companies, I think, where you have to kind of I think it's on a individual basis. Your experience with them will probably vary somewhat. The thing is like I've actually tried ordering from some of the companies that in the past were like suspect, but now have become a lot more well known. Like I actually did order I'm gonna say this, and you guys are gonna flip out. Like about a year and a half ago, I ordered from DX Sabers just because I wanted to try it. I just wanted to see what happened. I was taking one for the team. I was taking one for the Saber community. I was going to report back, and let me tell you, woo!
Dumpster fire.
That was a dumpster fire. don't really want to say too much because I don't want to get a letter, but let's just say that it was an interesting experience, and I actually came out on top.
So you actually did get a saber from this?
Yeah. It's not really a story I want to talk about right now, but let's just say that
let's not give them any publicity.
none of it went right. It was don't. Okay. Anyway, and there's some other companies that distribute LGT stuff that I've had some sketchy experiences with. Some companies are very popular and some that aren't very popular. Yeah, I've had very good experiences with Aegis Sabers, and Emery has had deplorable experiences. It's just, yeah, I think user mileage is, I don't know. I'm not really doing well with colloquialisms tonight, but yeah, I think that's all I have to say. My experience with Art Sabers wasn't bad, but that's just I think I got lucky. Maybe, I don't know.
Still gonna charge this thing.
Yeah, I saw your video, Sam, and I do heartily agree with you. Your assessment of that situation was pretty much spot on. It's there's certain companies where you have to just kind of like consider yourself lucky that one time, and then you have to move on. Right now, other than this experience with Saberforge is probably one of the few companies that I'm interested in buying from, other than Genesis Custom Sabers. That's pretty much all I'm interested in right now.
Yeah, I have to say, like, my go-to lately has been Saberforge, just because they always have stock and they have good electronics now. And I have to say, like, before, Saberforge felt like one of the more expensive ones, and now, for what you're getting, I feel like they're one of the more affordable ones. Like, I like the Saberforge Eco Sabers. You get a lot of bang for your buck. I had high hopes for the mystery boxes, but I feel like we kind of got cheated on the veteran tier here. It wasn't what I was expecting at all. I mean, they were advertising this first harvest, and I'm not completely convinced that that's what we have.
I mean, based on the simple fact that it doesn't perform at all like it does in the video.
Not at all. Not even close.
I mean,
nothing.
To be perfectly honest, it doesn't even sound as good as my other Redeemer. I'm half inclined to go upstairs to grab my other Redeemer just so you can, but I think I'd have to dig for it, so I'm not really going to do that. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's a very, very pretty hilt, but
So if you're just joining us, Scott and I had unboxed veteran tier mystery boxes from Saberforge, and we both got the exact same saber. But what's funny is his came with a CoverTech wheel and mine didn't. Mine has the screw for the CoverTech, but the CoverTech isn't actually there. As you can see, there's the screw. They're supposed to have smooth swing. Don't have that. Supposed to have 10 fonts, only have 8. So we're not really sure what's going on, but we're both going to send emails inquiring about what's going on with these things.
Plus,
I'm very pleased with the hilt. The hilt is awesome, but it's not performing electronically the way we had expected.
Actually, if you think about it, this whole experience is kind of like the world right now.
Mm-hmm.
Some good, some bad, comme ci, comme ça.
Oh yeah, comme ci, comme ça. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I think I do find it odd that you and I both got the exact same saber, though. Which makes me wonder how many other people got this thing, too. You know?
I don't know.
Or I'm wondering, are they really trying to push this whole thread in system thing and is trying to get as many of these out as possible to try to get people to buy into it? So let's talk about that real quick, because the whole concept or the reason of doing this was to make so that the hilt could hold the blade more stable. Now, I'm going to show you my Exalted. And I think I know why they did this. Because before, what they did was, it wasn't just an opening. Like here, you can see right into where the blade goes. Here, you've got this ring on the inside. And if you had a thick wall blade like the V4 Infinity blade, this would kind of support and hold that blade pretty well. But as you can see, it's very shallow. So the whole reason why they started doing this thread-in design is because, and I would say, like, when I had the blade in here, I had to constantly reposition it and tighten it because it was always coming loose. It didn't help that there's only one retention screw in there. So they did this, that way it would sit more stable in the blade, which I think does work. It's a great idea in theory. Only problem is it doesn't go in that far. So I don't feel confident that if I swing this and hit it on something, I feel like it's going to break here. And the reason why is the LED is right inside the blade, which means it's getting hot. That plastic is going to get warm and brittle over time when it cools, and then one whack, and this is all going to break off. Going up close, it's not going in that far. I mean, it's like this far up into the blade, and then the LED module's right here. And then you only have this little bit that screws into the hilt. It's not enough. It's not enough. I don't feel confident that this is going to hold.
You would in no way, shape, or form want to deal with this. This is
no way
not going to last.
But they do stress on their website that thin necks are not meant for dueling.
And if you happen to be Shannon from Forge by Light and you're dueling with Blake, yeah, this thing will break.
Do not use these thin necks for that. And don't let Saberforge see your video because it's going to void your warranty.
It'd be like a 23-second video, and then there'd be like Shannon all pissed off and Blake meekly walking away going like, "Yep, did it again." Like that last video. That was great. How's that blade doing, Shannon? You know what? I want to add one more thing to this. Since you've got essentially this, whatever this is, a copper piece inserted into the blade. So they've probably got some kind of epoxy resin that they just booged in there. And then there's like a kind of like an 1/8 of an inch gap right here. I know I'm not really getting an 1/8 of an inch gap.
That's the other thing. Why is that space still there after the LED has been screwed into the blade? That shouldn't be there.
So you turn the thing on and you get all of this crap gets illuminated and highlighted. And because there's no diffusion film here, it's brighter than the rest of the blade. Dumb.
Now, I will say it is bright because the LED is right up inside the blade. But when you get towards the tip, I mean, here you can still see it bright, but it's noticeably brighter at the base than it is at the tip.
Is your blade, what color is your blade? Is it blue? Or it looks a little cyan on the screen.
It's blue. It's blue.
Is it? Oh, okay. Now I wonder which blue it is. See if we can get kind of a sense. If not that we can really tell. If you want to put yours up.
Now, 1 second. Let me just say. Well, we have different cameras and stuff too, and different lights, so this isn't really inaccurate.
It looks. It doesn't. It looks.
I've always thought. I just want to say this real quick. I always thought when people do light comparisons in videos, I just think it's stupid because the camera, like, it's just not an accurate representation.
Sometimes you just have to dare to be stupid. I think mine's a medium
Not
blue.
me.
I'm sensing a medium blue here. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure they're both the same. But yeah.
This is a conspiracy. The whole thing is a conspiracy.
Let's address Ike here. He says he's concerned about he doesn't want the screw-in blades. Now, you're not going to get the screw-in blade if you don't get a thin neck lightsaber. And Scott is proof of that because he got a progeny and he got just a regular blade with an in-hilt LED. So if you're going to order, don't do a mystery box because you might get the screw-in blade. You don't know what hilt you're going to get. But
That's the blade
if you get a hilt,
right there.
if you get a hilt that is not thin neck, then you're safe. And correct, these are definitely not dual worthy. I wouldn't do with a thin neck period to begin with, but with these screw-in blades, even more so.
I would go so far as to say that these are probably the least dual worthy sabers in existence right now. There's just too much going on here that just, I don't know. And the thing is like, to replace this blade, how much do the blades cost now? Are they more expensive?
I didn't see it.
I mean, they weren't very expensive before. Now that they've got this menagerie going on here,
well, let's find out.
They're definitely not easy to swap out. This is the reason why they did it, as far as I'm concerned. It makes you go to them specifically for blades for the thin neck sabers. No one else uses a system like this. And I'm not shitting on Saberforge. Marketing is marketing.
So it says here that the thread-in blade is $65, and
damn,
the regular pixel blade is $100, and their thread-in pixel blade is $130.
Damn, that's expensive.
But because you're paying for an LED plus the polycarbonate. That's why it costs more. But honestly, $65. I mean, I've seen standard blades cost more, like saber trio blades I think are $50, and you're not getting an LED to go with it. So yeah.
Actually, I saw on the Saber Trio website, they're kind of like thin neck show blade type blades were like $15 a pop.
Hey, let's pause for a moment because it's late and the Arctic Jedi has joined us.
Hello, Arctic Jedi.
Actually, I should say bonsoir.
Oh, here we go. Go for it. The Arctic Jedi, he's one of the OGs. Like, he was one of the guys that was there, and he and I used to, comment on Sidious's videos all the time. That's how I got to know him, and I got to see him back in the day when he would have his videos, and he always wore his mask because his. Well, I won't reveal what you told me, but I always thought it was kind of funny how he always wore that mask, and that was pre-COVID, guys, by several years. But there was a reason for it. But yeah, we would always show up on Sidious's videos, and we would comment away, and that's how I got to know him. And that's, I think, how I met you. Emery, I'm pretty sure I first saw you maybe I can't
remember. It was so long ago. It seems like. So someone asked if the new blade works in my account Mark II. This is Hero Pixel. My initial guess is going to be no, because in the config file you have to choose whether it's going to be a pixel strip or not. So I'm assuming that it won't work. And the threading, well, we want to check the threading.
I don't want to risk damaging.
But it does fit inside there. I can screw that in. Yeah, it fits in there. But I'm afraid to push the button because I don't know what's going to happen.
Lando just had a video where he was talking about he had like an LED component with a connector, and you could basically insert it into your regular polycarbonate blade, and then you could use it in NeoPixel sabers as a dueling blade. It had full LED tri-cree LEDs in there. It's pretty nifty little device. I think it was only $45 to buy one of those. And you can switch back and forth from NeoPixel to polycarbonate for dueling, and that way you can use your NeoPixel saber with the CFX board for everything, which I recommend to Shannon. I think he's gone. I think it drove him off. I always pick on him. I love his videos though.
So it's midnight for Commander Dale. So he's 1 hour behind me then. Yeah, I agree. Saber Ultimate Works and then Pox were selling it. There's these little NeoPixel LED adapters that you can put in, and and those seem pretty cool. I live in Europe too. I'm in Belgium right now. This is an interesting question, since now that you have one too. He's asking, do we think that the 3.5 millimeter jack will become loose and not make proper contact? And he says he knows his connectors do get loose from his time as a musician. I'm actually a musician, but I play trombone. But we're used to plugging stuff in and out all the time. That's a great question, and I'm thinking no, because as long as you are inserting correctly, and in this case, it's not just a loose port. You have to fit it in through here first, which means it's already aligned before it gets to the jack, and then you're slowly screwing in, and it can't bend. So I think the 3.5 millimeter jack would be safe over time in this case. There you go. He's still here.
I saw that. That's good. I was thinking we need to do a gaming session.
Well, yeah, that's right. We never set that up. We have to do that in the new year because I'll be away from home. I'm going to the States on Monday, and I'll be there for 3 weeks.
I was figuring if you wanted to, I'm not sure how your flight's coming into Michigan, but if you happen to fly over Massachusetts, you can just sort of
drop that Mark 1
right out the window, and if your aim is true. Right, I gave this man a bunch of cash today for a saber. So you still have to do the comparison video though.
Yeah, actually, it's already it's done. I filmed it, I edited it, it's already uploaded. I have 3 videos uploaded and ready to go. And
overachiever.
Well, here's the thing. I don't like doing back-to-back videos, and I'll tell you why. Because when you get too many notifications, sometimes people don't like that and they just don't bother. And also, I want them to have time to view what I just sent, which was my Count Mark II review. Give that some time to get some views and people to watch that. And then the next week or later in the week, I release another video. So I already did my J. DeLorean sound font review. I did my unboxing for the LGT CoverTech adapter. And then I did the comparison video. So those are all uploaded, ready to go. They're just unlisted. And then I'll release those. And that'll be good because Great Paladin is going to be away for the next 3 weeks because I'm going to the States to visit family for the holidays. So it's nice to have some videos in the queue. So even though I can't produce content, I can still release content.
Did you say 3 weeks?
Yep, 3 weeks.
Nice.
Darth Santa. Just dropping sabers.
So if anybody's been wondering where all my videos,
I don't know, Shannon. Will he? I will say this, Shannon. That little animation that you gave me will be appearing in one of those 3 videos that I have already uploaded. So perhaps, yes. Oh man, I'm so disappointed about this electronics because this hilt is really nice.
It kind of took the piss out of everything. We were just like, you mentioned how happy we'd be if like we got the soundboard that we had expected. I mean, we'd
still be swinging these right now, enjoying all the features and effects. But
I'm like, yay! You know what the hell?
Yeah. I gotta find a way to open this up, but I know if I open it up, it's going to void the warranty. So I'm going to email Saberforge in the morning, and then I'm going to say, hey, I got a veteran tier mystery box, and your description said this, and it's not anything like that. What's the deal? Because I have no problem sending this back to get what I really wanted. You know.
I want to answer Isaac's question about rebuilding it, because you shouldn't have to.
Correct. I paid $220 for this thing. I shouldn't have to, especially when I just want to get what was advertised. I want to get what I paid for.
And then after that, whatever you choose to do is what you choose to do. But like, you need to get
correct
what was advertised, what was paid for, and to be quite frank, I mean, the reason why, if it seems like we're a little bit perturbed by this whole thing, is because this was what our whole video was hinging upon, like exposing everyone to the golden harvest,
the first harvest, and talking about that.
And when you don't get one,
to address Turtle Helm here, we don't think it's the first harvest, the new board. Because we checked the video, we checked the website, and it's not matching what the website says. But here's the other thing, though. I don't think it's the old veteran tier, because the old veteran tier only held 1 font. No, I held 3.
Would you like to hear the old veteran tier? I have,
because the old veteran tier, I have one too. It had the
It has Viridian, Crimson, and Gunmetal.
Gunmetal, yeah, that's the original veteran tier.
And it just basically turns on.
But even then, I'm hearing better response there than what we got on this.
Flashes. Come on, there we go.
Here's the other kicker. I have a Sabercore 3.0.
Yeah.
That was the first electronics that I got on my Vanquish. And that only holds 3 fonts. It has a micro USB connection that you can plug into a computer, and you can make changes on there. So I don't know what this is. It's not old veteran, and it's not Sabercore 3.0, but it's not matching the description of First Harvest either.
What was that board that you were just describing?
Sabercore 3.0.
Yeah, the Saber.
Yeah, the Sabercore 3.0 had a micro USB connection that you could plug into the computer, and it only held 3 fonts. That's not this. This is not a micro USB. It's a 2.1 millimeter, and it has 8 fonts. So I'm not sure what this is.
The Sabercore 3.0 had a really nice editor software.
It was okay. It was okay.
Wow.
Yeah. If you use it properly, it worked.
It was really,
I remember actually,
really easy.
It was actually Legeti Artik is the one that told me that you have to do things correctly or you could fry the board.
Yeah, Legeti Artik is pretty much the guy that taught me what I know about Electrum Sabercrafts. Although I do believe they just came out with a new update, which I just saw written about on the Facebook forums, but that's something I haven't I haven't done yet. I have so many Electrum Sabercrafts hilts.
I want to acknowledge that Turtle Helm has a Santa hat on his his thing. You can see it right there. So happy holidays to Turtle Helm.
What saber did he just? What saber did he just receive that I just saw a video for? I can't remember. What was it that you got, bro?
Oh yeah, he got a veteran tier as well. So yeah, Turtle Memes, tell us what you got and what's going on with your saber.
You did get a veteran tier. I think maybe I saw maybe a slightly older video, but I like the Sabercore 2.0.
Yeah, I'm really disappointed, and I'm not. It's fine, and they still included a retention screw here too. Yeah, I'm disappointed in. Well, one, I'll say I don't like this for the thin necks. It's not enough. Now I will say though, if it wasn't a thin neck and I had this, I would be totally okay with it because we're getting the brightness. We're getting the not needing a thumb screw or a retention screw. So this, in theory, this concept is a really great idea. I like it very much.
I mean,
but for thin necks, I don't think it's the way to go.
If it's going into something like a bastion and I don't know where the blade
Something
retention
far
screw is
enough where you
actually-
get past that point
Here
where you
somewhere.
see here. There's a moment where there's no threading and no diffusion film, and it's just this.
It gives it
space.
extra structural support, and it wouldn't be bad. And 90% of the hilts that you would get from Saberforge kind of fall under that category. Even the progeny goes to about here. It's like about 2.5 inches. So
Yeah.
you'd have this whole lens section here kind of supporting it, and it wouldn't be bad. But like you said, it's something that they only do for the next. It's kind of I think in the end, eventually they're just probably going to end up dropping that as a solution to several problems and maybe modifying it with some. I don't know. It's just.
I think they're going to stick to the guns on that for a while because they invested so much in it. They have to, they want to convince people that it works and it's a good product. And I think that's also why we got those in our mystery boxes.
And because we're the guys from the Muppets, they're
Waldorf and Stetler.
Yeah.
I'm out of beer. I need to go down to the fridge and grab another one. I shall return.
I'm just gonna make them watch me drink. Yeah, I know. Like that's exactly it, Shannon. If you break the blade, it's like $65 to replace the stupid thing. I don't know. It's just a guy like me. I'm addicted to blades from the custom saber shop, and occasionally I like to get my Vader's Vault blade, or if I have a chance, get some Saber Trio blades. I like my sanded blades, but it's just sort of like I don't know. It's just having to spend $65 for a Saberforge blade, which I always kind of feel like they're a little bit too heavy. Although I'm bulking up somewhat, I'm getting a lot stronger. So they're not quite as like I've got the 32.
Shield down, I can't even see. How am I supposed to fight? Your eyes can deceive you. Don't trust them.
Yeah, so this 32-inch blade of my progeny. By the way, Shannon, get a progeny. Just do it. This thing's amazing. I love this hilt. But it's very, very well balanced. I don't know if they've lightened the blade or something, but it really works well in this hilt. So I have no issues with it now, but they've always seemed a little bit on the heavy side to me and being forced to buy one when I'd rather buy other less expensive brands. It's a little bit sketchball, but what are you gonna do? Waldorf, yeah, Waldorf and Stadler. Is that it? Because the shit that he and I like right back and forth to each other, we're curmudgeons. We really are curmudgeons. I do like the Heretic though. I have one. It's a beautiful hilt, so you can't go wrong with the Heretic either. I think getting a champion tier Heretic would be like really a really good purchase. I don't think you could go wrong. Because Shannon, this is what I'm gonna do you with when I show up at your house one of these days. And I'll have a special hilt for dueling with Blake, something that he can break, and I won't mind. Welcome back.
Thank you. It's good to be back, especially with more libation.
Yes. So is everyone here a beer drinker? What's your preferred poison? Some people are wine people. Other people like their mixed drinks.
I drink it all.
Battery acid. I don't know.
I'm a gin tonic guy. I like red wine, and of course, love beer.
I like a good gin and tonic. That was like my first alcoholic beverage. So when I was a little kid, my grandparents had some cash because they were into real estate. They would have social events, and I'd be there as a little kid. My grandfather would slip me a gin and tonic every once in a while to shut me up, and it worked. So that was my. So I've been a lush since I was knee high to a grasshopper. Spitfire.
On that note, every time you see the cheers scrolling, we have to take a drink together.
Nah, man. An Iron Maiden inspired ale. That's awesome. Does Bruce Dickinson drink that on while he's flying?
Of course you drink. It's just not alcohol. You drink water, milk, soda. We're setting a bad example here, Scott. Maybe we should.
No, I don't have a filter. People, what the thing is I don't judge. I mean, well, I kind of judge, but I kind of, there's two things that I don't really understand. I don't understand when someone doesn't drink, and I don't understand people that don't own pets. Which explains why I had a problem with the last president. Because he doesn't have either.
Let's address Mateo here. So the Guten Kerlus, I actually had that when I was in Brussels two nights ago. That's a very good beer. Now, you have both the Bastion and the Ronin, Scott. So maybe you should address Mateo here.
The Bastion. Oh, that. Now I don't have my Bastion down here, but those are two completely different hilts, dude. I mean, the thing with the Bastion is just such a simple thing. It's very elegant, very comfortable. A lot of people, they piss and moan about CoverTech wheels and little, it doesn't have a control box. You can tech wheel, but it's a very spry hilt. Could definitely benefit from a lighter blade. I think I've got a custom Saber Shop show blade in here, so this thing is very nice. I mean, I have two of these. I have this one, which is just a regular Saberforge installed one, and then I also have I have a weathered one, which is installed with a now, but it's got a V3, and I love that hilt. It's one of my favorite hilts of all time. If you saw, I did a video of my favorite 5 of my top favorite hilts. Now, those weren't my only top favorite hilts, but that just happened to be the 5 I selected for that video. As far as the Ronin goes, the Ronin is a very, very, I don't know, as far as a katana style saber, it's really quite comfortable. It's as spry as the Bastion. I almost think of it as a Bastion without a Suba. I personally would pick the 11-inch version, which is kind of the handle, the suka on a katana. It doesn't actually, it's not very long. It's actually only about 11 inches anyway. And the way a katana is traditionally held is like this, and then your hand sort of supports the bottom of the hilt, and it's this hand that does all the work, and this hand just kind of guides it. So depending on your style, which is what my style is, because I practiced Iedo for about 6 years, which was all just drawing and striking and sheathing, the sword, and getting the blood off and whatnot. I honestly think you can't go wrong with either of them. But if you have a choice, I'd get both, because I think they're both great. I own 2 of each at this point, and they're lovely. They're lovely. Can't tell you what blade color to get, but I would be leery about getting a veteran tier at this point. But anyway, I'm done. You doing, Gray? Am I muted?
No, I was muted. I'm toying with the settings on this to see if I can get something better. But you were talking, so I didn't want the sound to interrupt you. So
yeah, and I can talk and talk and talk, right?
Oh, I know.
Saved. All settings saved.
Yeah, that's not First Harvest. I don't know what that is, but the way the menu works, it works just like the veteran tier, the old veteran tier.
We'll get there. The thing is I have my Oracle. My Oracle has like electronic issues, and I'm sending it to Saberforge. I already have the permission. I just have to fill out the slip and send back to them. They'll either fix it, or they'll probably end up putting in a harvest. I don't know what they're going to do to fix it. I'm just going to pay them whatever they want me to pay them, and then get that thing back, because it's a really nice hilt. This is one of the older Oracles where the emitter has like the rounded pieces that are kind of like one's longer than the other. They're all kind of uniform length now, but it's an older one. But only took a week and a half for them to go back.
Commander Dale, I'm assuming when you say nano, you mean Nano Biscotti. And yes, Nano Biscotti does take fonts from K-Sith, Kyberphonic, and so on and so forth. I mean, you can put any font on there. Just know that you're limited on some of the features that you can do, because I think Nano Biscotti only does hum, swing, and clash, and blaster. Not even blaster, that's it. Just hum, swing, and clash.
Yeah, blade in, blade out. That's it. But it does it really well.
So he's asking me about pointers on changing an LGT speaker. So I have swapped out speakers for my LGTs before. They take, I think, 22 or 24 millimeters. So all I ended up doing was taking off this screw here on the bottom, and there's another screw up here on the top, and then this black plastic frame separates, and you can see the speaker right there. And then from there, you see the 2 wires, and you just I separate the wires from the speaker, not from the board. I try to keep that the same, and then I just resolder and put it in. And I had an older one, like a V6 one, that actually had the quick connector on there. So I just took it off, had another quick connect, and put it into the speaker, put it back in the housing, put that screw back in, this screw back in, and you're good to go. But the newer LGT cores are actually coming with bass speakers. So most of them, the newer ones now, I feel like I don't need to swap those out. It's the older ones that had the little flat speaker that were terrible that I would swap those out with a bass speaker.
In the Eco Sabers now use the cores too, and back in with I think it was Gen 3, they had put speakers on those that didn't work very well, and at one point Philip Bishop had sent out speakers. People had bought those to replace them that worked better. They were like the older version of speakers, and they just use a quick disconnect. So you just had to kind of go into their what they had for a core in there and remove a little bit of tape, and then you can kind of take the speaker, just disconnect it and put it back in.
Mm-hmm.
It's really nice whenever you have a quick disconnects on a
I
Mac.
wish more companies use quick connects for the speakers. That way, if you want to swap something out, you can just do that easily. Because I feel like the speaker is the one thing on the Saber that over time is gonna eventually give on you.
Yeah.
And you should be able to just order that part from them and then be able to just swap it out yourself with a quick connect and you're done.
I mean, unless you're a company like the Patch Store where they don't believe that their speakers are capable of blowing out, and they will absolutely refuse to send you a new speaker until the ends of the earth. Most companies would probably want to be like, I mean, Electrum Sabercrafts, their hilts actually have a hi. Oh, what's going on? Bloody hell! All right, so Electrum Sabercraft's hilts, when you access the end of the hilt, they just you just squeeze and you can pull the whole thing out.
That it's the speaker is in that plastic kind of frame thing, and I think that's cool too.
And dealing with, I mean, Dave from Electrum Sabercrafts helped me out, and he just was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna send you one free." And my Aurora's been like perfect ever since. The Patch Store absolutely refused to help me. But I don't know. I've replaced the speakers on several of my Saberforge hilts. It's real easy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
it's very easy.
Goes, I mean, it's
and if there's anything you want to solder, the speaker is the easiest one, and that's really a good start to kind of get used to doing that sort of thing with.
It does help to give you kind of like a bit of a technique, and you learn how to deal with need to add a little bit of extra solder. I feel like I've actually improved somewhat.
Let's address Negadosha. I hope I didn't butcher that name there. Do you have any Shoto hilts, Scott?
I have 2, and one's upstairs, and it's a Acolyte, and then I have one in the other room, but it's in pieces parts because I did an install. I bought a kind of a completed install kit that I attempted to put into there, but the Shoto is so small. It's a Bastion that it came with a chassis, and the chassis didn't fit, and I had to resize the chassis by cutting pieces away, and I had to rewire things. And in the end, I had to jam everything in. There was what do they call it? Jam foo or something like that. And it only worked for a little while, and then eventually it died because the wires were so thin and useless. And I got to a point where I just couldn't do anything else with it, and that's it. And I always regret it because it's a nice little weathered Bastion Shoto, and I always wanted it to be like Dark Side. I have half a mind to send it to Emery here and then have him make a go of it. But I think I have when I put the switch in, I kind of glued it in place, and I think I kind of made myself a situation where removing that would probably involve like a blowtorch or something.
I don't have any.
I am
Shotos.
not good at installs. That is not my forte. No.
I don't have any Shotos, but I do have
That's a Shoto.
a Sidious saber or a Palpatine Darth Sidious saber.
You have a
And
Sith.
it's small like a Shoto. I mean, it's only a one-hander. And honestly, I don't care for it too much. I think it's too small, especially when you put, the weight of the blade on. And this actually takes a 7/8 inch blade, which is not as big as a 1 inch. And it still feels like it's just not really balanced well. That's a cool saber. I remember that one.
This JQ Sabers Karakian, I can't remember, but it's a Broken 2.2. The switches are underneath the this wrap here, so finding them is a little tricky. it's really.
Thanks, Ty. Have a great night and happy holidays.
Oh, yeah. It's a little bit tricky, but I don't know.
But that is a really cool saber, though. I like that one.
This is one of those hilts that I want to get when I have the money. I've been so damn broke lately. I want to get a Sith Lord Saber's blade for this because that's my favorite. He's my favorite blade maker for NeoPixel blades.
Well, yeah, you're broke because you just bought this one.
That's why I'm broke, and I have to buy a blade for that damn thing.
I guess I shouldn't enjoy your saber too much now, should I?
No, it's okay. That's the $14 for fee right there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You guys show me Oda Nobunaga.
Ah.
Which is like the best sound font ever.
Exit menu, system menu, SD card in.
I got it. Quite possibly one of the greatest sound fonts ever made.
Yeah, I like that one a lot, and I think you'll enjoy my my font review of that too. I may release that one on Sunday. Yeah.
Whatever works. Yeah, that Turtle Helm memes, that was from JQ Sabers. Yeah. He still has one available too. I don't remember if it was a Profi or a CFX or something. It's kind of expensive. I mean, it was like kind of expensive. But this was one of those hilts that I saw like years ago. Unfortunately, this one's a little bit different than the one that I saw years ago. It's not quite as bougie. I think it's a little bit, I don't know, has more of a mass produce feel, but it's still pretty cool. And I have no skill for dealing with sound fonts for Profi 2.2. I've tried. I don't have time. I don't have the energy. So I'll probably end up sending this to someone. I might actually see if Tim from Darth Rage Reviews might throw some sound fonts on here for me and some blade profiles and trick this bad boy out because this deserves it. I just don't use it that much because, well, you know me. I'm like Isaac. I get too much. I get too much.
So for Turtle Helm, there's
Let's talk about size difference.
when you're talking about numbers, the difference isn't that great. But when you're actually holding it and feeling the count in your hand, you definitely notice it. Most of it's just by like 0.2 inches a difference. But I have already done my comparison video. It is uploaded. I just haven't made it go live yet. I'm trying to space things out because I just put out my count Mark II review. So I'm going to let that breathe a little bit, and then in a few days or next week, I'll release the comparison video so you can get. And it's very technical. I measure everything for both sabers, give you the difference, and do some some swing stuff with it too.
It's really interesting how like a subtle.
Happy holidays and have a good night. Thanks for joining us.
Bye. For instance, I have my Quai Gold, my Corbanth Quai Gold, and I also have the Patch Source Master Q, the Ultimate Works Master Q. And if you put them side by side, they really look identical. But when you pick up the Corbanth version, which by the way, the Corbanth version is a much better install. CFX and everything. It sounds better. It's louder. But the Master Q is like more comfortable in the hand, and we're talking like a half a millimeter to maybe a millimeter diameter. It's such a subtle thing, but for a Qui-Gon, it's a very comfortable hill. I've been meaning to do a comparison of those, but it's like such a game of inches, and I'm just kind of like not really as detailed oriented as you are. I'm more of a slapdash, kind of like, this is my saber, and then you do this, and there's this, and it's done. I find that when I talk too much, people get
I don't have a Qui-Gon saber. I remember when I first saw it, I thought, man, I really want that saber. I like it a lot. But now it just doesn't do anything for me. And if I can, honestly, if there's one I'm going to get, it'll probably be the Flight Q version. That way I'm not spending a lot of money, but I still kind of have a Qui-Gon-ish version of it.
I mean, it doesn't have the deep grooves, but I mean, if that's what you're into,
Who cares? Screen accuracy is not a big deal to me, and I want to do a video on that too. For some people, screen accuracy is important, and if it's not completely accurate, they think it's bullshit and they don't want nothing to do with it. Me, I don't care. Now, when it comes to Dooku's saber, having a screen accurate feels a lot better, but not having one didn't bother me either.
Okay. Well, that's how I feel about getting the Mark I. I mean, it's just like I don't have a Dooku saber in my collection, but pretty soon I will, and I'm happy knowing that, like, I got mine from you. I mean,
I will say the Mark I. The only thing that's not really accurate on it is the pommel. And when I say the pommel, I mean the thickness that separates the elbow to the pommel. Other than that, it's just bigger. That's it. But when you look at the saber, it is Count Dooku. It's just
the pommel is a really, really cool design. It's really kind of very unique amongst all of like Star Wars community, and you know what I mean? It has like a little tiny connector and then a thing and then something that connects it this way. And it's just really, really, it's intricate. It's got a lot of detail. And I like it. Yeah. You showed that off very well in your video today. Dooku's like my favorite Sith. And I just need to get that hilt.
I talk about that. It was in my my Mark II review. I talked about how much and why I like Dooku.
I just
Commander
like Christopher
Dale,
Lee.
Well, here's the thing with Christopher Lee. Do I like Dooku because of Christopher Lee, or do I like Christopher Lee because of Dooku? And this is what I think. If Count Dooku was portrayed by someone else other than Christopher Lee, my opinion might be different on Count Dooku. And I feel like Christopher Lee is one of those people that you don't cast him for a role, you cast a role for him.
Yeah.
And I think when you thought about Dooku, you say who embodies what we think Dooku should be, and that was Christopher Lee. He did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, there's that. Plus, I mean, just the way, like, the way the character is designed, the way that he's outfitted, the fact that he has a completely unique hilt design right from the get-go. It's something no one had ever seen before. He was a duelist. You know, he until Yoda showed up, he was bitch slapping Anakin and Obi-Wan all over the place. And it's just like he was the dude, And then unfortunately, I feel like from Clone Wars to what's the next movie? The Revenge of the Sith. Like, age kind of caught up with him, and then Anakin was starting to become a sociopath. So I mean, you're not going to beat him. But
well, that's the other thing. Anakin was starting to really realize his powers to a point where Dooku, in his old age, wasn't a match for Anakin coming into him into his potential. Because you saw he took Obi-Wan was no contest for him. He took Obi-Wan down like almost instantly, but Anakin was the one that was the struggle. Plus, I here's the other thing. If Dooku wanted to kill Anakin in the get-go, he would have. The only reason why he was sparing him was because Sidious or Palpatine was telling him to kind of coach and edge him along.
I really felt like when I was watching that duel that what was happening was I think Anakin was matching Dooku power for power, and I think he was utilizing the dark side very much as much as Dooku possibly could, and he just proved to be no match. I mean, Dooku just ended up being no match for just the raw potential power that Anakin had at that point. It was a very good scene, very well done.
And let's face it, I mean, Dooku, he just didn't have the stamina I mean, look at Anakin in his youth. I mean, and he was very strong on the Force. And then you had Dooku, who was, on the other side of the hill. Yeah, and this is what I think. And I said this in my Mark II review. If Dooku was a Sith Lord in his youth, imagine what he would have been able to accomplish or do.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like the in Visions. Did you ever see Visions?
Yeah, I watched them.
So the Elder, do you remember the Elder?
Mm-hmm.
At the end of that fight, when the I don't remember the Jedi's name, but he was commenting that he probably would have lost that fight if he had faced the Elder in his prime. It's kind of the same thing. You just feel like a lot of things like unless you're Obi-Wan fighting against Darth Maul in the deserts of Tatooine. Oh my God, what a scene! Right out of a Kurosawa movie. You know what I'm talking about from Rebels.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And
because I like that moment very much, and I'll tell you why. Because Maul had so much hatred for Obi-Wan, but even though they hated each other, they still respected each other. And I think when Maul did his strike and Obi-Wan had ran him through, and then he caught him and he was holding him in his arms, and that whole time it's like Obi-Wan, like you felt that Obi-Wan was like it wasn't personal,
Not for
I
Obi-Wan.
don't hate you, and even though you tried to kill me, I still don't hate you. And I think in that moment, Maul, though he still hated Obi-Wan, he respected Obi-Wan, and and that's something that you don't really see as much in society or in the world today, is you can still respect your enemy. And that's one thing I like about the old times.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
they respected their enemies.
That's what is lacking in the world today. A couple points from that whole scene is just I just tying in the fight between Maul and Obi-Wan to the fight between Maul and Qui-Gon. Just the fact that Maul tried that same technique on Obi-Wan, it didn't work. Obi-Wan took him down, and in the end, when Obi-Wan's kind of tenderly sort of like supporting Maul as he passes away, and Maul is just kind of like, he's almost like, I get the feeling like he's honored to have been taken down by his old adversary, even though he would have preferred to have won.
Yeah.
There was like, that's where the respect came from. And you could see kind of the sorrow for another individual that Obi-Wan had expressed that compassion. And I just felt kind of like a bit of a like a connection between the two of them. And it could have been the Force, it just could have been their humanity. That scene is a classic scene in Star Wars lore. And it's one of those things that, like, the people that dismiss Rebels for whatever reason,
I have a friend that dismisses Rebels, and I'm not really sure why, because I'll admit it took me a while to get into it, but I like Rebels. But what made Rebels for me was Thrawn, because I read about him in the books. And he's the one that really I was really excited about. But to address what Turtle Helm is saying here, one thing he says that it's not flashy, and I agree, because let's get real. All this flare and Obi-Wan bullshit, that stuff is not a sword battle. Good, effective fighters, it's going to be simple and to the point, and whoever's strongest, it's going to be very clear, and that battle's going to be over fairly quickly.
Has everyone seen that video? I don't know who produced this. The video in the school when the fella's trying to tune his saber in, and then the guy comes over and he fiddles with the control, and the blade solidifies, and then the elder student,
not the intern, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
and the teacher is who we don't know is the teacher. He just looks like a, I don't know. He just he looks like he's just watching, and then there's the girl, and she's like a janitor.
It's basically like a janitor. It's basically like a janitor, and then the girls, getting, yeah.
That is the way fighting. I mean, sword fighting. I mean, none of us have been in a sword fight, nor have we ever really seen an actual legitimate sword fight in person. So we have to go by historical recounts, and we have to go by the words from people who claim to be experts. But if you think about a sword fight, like you have two blades, katanas, halberds, long swords, whatever. You got to figure the way it's pictured in more traditional war movies. It's a gruesome affair. And usually a lot of these fights don't last very long. The whole concept of having two people, jousting back and forth for like several hours, like the fight between Obi-Wan and Annie. This is a byproduct.
In reality, that would never happen.
Well, in Star Wars, you have to suspend disbelief and accept the fact that they are both using the Force, which gives them intuition. And it's not just a fight that's physical. It's also,
it was still too long and drawn out.
It's being fought like on the.
That was boring. That part of the movie, I fast forward through that. It's boring. Like, it makes no sense. Oh, I'm gonna run. Oh, I'm gonna leap on this wire and then swing at you. It's too long and drawn out. And I didn't like it, and it's not.
Let's just do CGI lava effects. They'll carry the last half of the movie, and then.
But the Palpatine Yoda stuff, I thought it was great.
Yeah, I mean,
Now, I do want to address Anagnosia here, and he was saying because yes, even though Dooku was bested by Anakin, and Anakin was young and he was stepping into his power, I feel like in reality, Dooku could have dispatched Anakin very quickly, but he didn't because he was going off of Palpatine's wishes. Now, as we saw in the Clone Wars, every Sith apprentice wants to eventually overthrow their master. And I think having like someone like Asajj Ventress or Savage Opress, Dooku could have done that, to Palpatine, especially after he had already lost Maul and whatnot. So I think if Dooku had really focused on Asajj and took that fight to Palpatine, I think he could have had a much better chance. But I think if Dooku was really wise, he should have just taken out Anakin. He saw the potential there. In his first fight, he was exhausted even when he was a Padawan. I think he should have gotten rid of Anakin when he had the chance. But he was, of course, ruled by fear because of his master Palpatine. And let's face it, Palpatine was very powerful. But if he had taken out Anakin and just said it was an accident or a mistake, he probably would have been a little better off. And we have Galif in the house. Hello there.
hello there. Looking for the next topic at hand, huh?
Yeah, there's a lot of comments here. We have to limit our responses for some of these so we can get to the new stuff.
One of the
Yeah, and now I want to talk about the Yoda Palpatine thing here with Ike. They are both powerful, and one thing of all of the Revenge of the Sith, this was the moment that I was most looking forward to, was seeing Yoda and Palpatine finally go at it, because the question was who's more powerful, who's going to handle this. I think, obviously, Yoda was getting old and had some trouble, but here's the thing. Of everyone that Palpatine engaged with, he did not want to engage Yoda. He was willing to fight Windu. He was fired up to fight Windu, and everybody else too. But Yoda is the only Jedi that Palpatine said, I need to bounce out of here and avoid this fight. The moment he saw him, he zapped him, and then he got up and he pushed his butt over, and he was trying to get out of there. And every time in that fight, it was Palpatine trying to avoid confrontation,
and a lot of nervous laughter.
And I think it was great. It was great to see the two heads going at it.
The whole time, Palpatine just was like, I can't believe I'm fighting this guy. He's going to totally kill me. I'm going to throw a whatever that thing is at him. It's like, yeah. I'm thinking of SC-38. I'm thinking of that remake, the remade scene of Vader fighting Obi-Wan. That should be canon by now. That should have been inserted into some copy of A New Hope at some point and incorporated in there. You know what I'm talking about? SC-38?
No, say again.
It's a fan made. I can't remember the name of the people that made it, but it's Vader and Obi-Wan's fight scene from A New Hope remade with modern.
Oh yes, I've seen that, and that's really good. Really
I've
good.
watched that so many times. It's like ridiculous. It's like the right amount of balance of content from from the movie and at no point when you're watching that do you feel like you've seen anything except like first rate effort from a true fan. Yeah, 38 is epic. And
So what new Star Wars are we talking about here, Silver?
you gotta narrow it down, buddy.
Yeah.
Cool name, by the way, Silver Bullet Fury. That's awesome. That's the name
And
of
it's a wolf. And it's a werewolf, sorry.
Force Awakens, Last Jedi, yeah. Well,
oh, those are all garbage to a point where I don't even want to talk about it. I remember when Force Awakens came out in 2016. I was actually deployed in Iraq, and everyone said, "Oh, they did a special screening for the soldiers out there." I says, "No, I'm going to wait till I get back home." Got back to the States, watched it, and my friends were like, "Oh man, that was so good." I was the only one who walked out of that theater that said, "This is garbage." It was a remake of A New Hope, but worse, and no one wanted to believe me. And then The Last Jedi came out; that was even more trash. And then they tried to redeem themselves with whatever the last one was called, Rise of Skywalker, whatever. And when I first saw it, I thought, okay, this one's pretty good. This one's better. And then I watched it again, and I said, you know what? No, this is just as bad as the rest of them. I mean, the new trilogy it was terrible. And the fact, and we know that it was terrible because Disney's talking about erasing that and starting a new timeline. They messed up by doing that. They should have just stuck with the Timothy Zahn books and just did 7, 8, 9 based off of the books with Thrawn picking up the pieces of the Empire.
I saw The Last Jedi with my friend Mike. Lifelong Star Wars fans. We were in college together, and I convinced him to go see that. I just remember walking out of the theater, kind of feeling like, I'm sorry about that. I don't know what that was. that was not what I expected. When usually you walk out of a theater that's and you've seen a movie that was halfway decent, and you're like chit chatting, you're like, oh, this and that, and the end. Oh yeah, that was really good. Oh, that was like, we just walked out. It's just like, I'm gonna go home now.
Quiet ride home. Quiet ride home. Yeah.
It was a quiet.
Now, I will say this: when I thought the prequels weren't very good when they first came out. But after watching the sequel trilogy, the prequels seem a heck of a lot better to me now. And now I enjoy the prequels. That's how bad the sequels are.
The Phantom Menace definitely, as far as being a movie where you kind of you look at it and you go, well, that's a well-made movie. It's not a well-made movie, but I mean, there's no arguing with the Duel of the Fates and that whole. I mean, you watch the movie for that essentially, because that's the pivotal moment on all of Star Wars where a lot of things are hinged. I see.
But here's the thing: all the pod race stuff, garbage, way too long. Didn't need it. This is what should have happened. The Phantom Menace shouldn't even have been in there. That should have been thrown out completely. They should have started with Attack of the Clones, then made Revenge of the Sith next movie, and then the third part of the trilogy should have been Rogue One, because Rogue One was very well done, but it got a bad rap because of all the prequels, everything else that went on before it. But when you look at Rogue One, it's the only one that actually ties us into the trilogy. And the director actually took the time to do the research and make sure that everything they did in that movie lined up with the trilogy. And it made total sense. Rogue One was good. And that's the only one. Actually, I've never seen a movie in the theater more times than Rogue One. I saw Rogue One in the theater 5 times.
Okay.
5 times. I've never seen a movie in a theater more than twice.
Okay, so as far as Rogue One goes, it's funny because I didn't like it the first few times, the first couple times I saw it, I don't know why I had a disconnect with it. There was something about it, and then it was one of those movies that kind of grew on me, and now I recognize it as one of the greats as far as like Star Wars movies go, because I it felt a lot outside of the the normal expectations that you have for a Star Wars movie. It was in and of itself very unique, and it accomplished its story and very very well. And now I do enjoy it immensely. Um, yeah, I've pretty much forgotten everything else that I want to say because
Now, I want to address Shannon here because I've said this from the beginning. The sequel trilogy was trash, and anyone could hate me for that or say or argue it till the cows come home. It doesn't matter. It was trash, all three of them, and they got terrible box office reviews. But anyway, what they should have done is start with Force Awakens. If you're going to keep Rey as the heroine or the Jedi, which I thought it should have been Finn, because how interesting of a story would it have been to see a stormtrooper who changes sides and now becomes the hero? That would have been excellent. We've already seen the scavenger or farm boy come up from the poor neighborhood and be the heroine. But anyway, sticking with what was there, they should have done that. I think in the second movie, Rey should have fallen to the dark side. She should have become that evil Sith or whatever. And then I think Kylo, after killing his father and seeing his mother go, should have basically all that guilt and remorse for killing his father should have brought him back to the light. And then the third movie should have been Kylo teaming up with Finn and Poe and all of them and trying to bring Rey back to the light and redeem her. And the end of that movie should have been them redeeming Rey and bringing her back to the light side. I think that would have made a much more interesting trilogy, and you wouldn't have needed Palpatine. The only reason why they brought Palpatine back is because the first two movies were tanking so bad. They needed something to try to revive it, and they knew that they had to keep the OT people in the mix, and that's why they brought back Lando. That's why they brought back Palpatine, because they already killed off Han. Chewie was dead. Well, the actor was dead, and Leia, the actress had passed. So we lost all of our OT people. So what did it do? Bring in Palpatine, bring in Lando to get us OT people back in.
The whole thing was just like an unorganized mess, and it had no plan from day one, and and it shows.
Well, they messed up when they decided to have three different directors for all three movies. Because after Rian Johnson failed miserably, that's why they brought back JJ, because there was supposed to be a third person, a different person for the last movie, but they said this is so off base, we need to bring JJ to save it.
Yeah. So I want to ask, and this is going back a little bit. This is what I forgot to mention earlier. I'm a big fan of the concept that Jar Jar was the actual Phantom Menace. I don't know if you ever saw that video.
Come on. I'm going to mute you if you keep talking about Jar Jar. No.
Whoa. Wow. You hear what's going on here?
I think the idea of Jar Jar is cool, but let's face it, the only reason why that theory went around is because his character was so stupid and people hated him so much, they tried to justify a reason of having him there.
All right. Next subject.
But those videos where they tried to tie in a Darth Jar Jar thing, I thought was really cool. But again, that's only created because everybody hated him so much. And that poor actor, he got like death threats and stuff. Him and the little boy Anakin.
And the woman that played Rose, Tycho.
Yeah. Her character is useless too.
If you're the kind of person that's gonna go find an actor from any Star Wars or any, forget that. If you're gonna find anybody anywhere and give them the kind of grief that you feel that you're obligated to give them, well, guess what? You're a piece of shit. Don't do it. Just stop. Just stop, okay? Just realize that your shit don't stink is a load of crap. And just give people a break, okay? The world needs more love. All right. Prequel. I don't know. I've learned to love the prequels. I mean, like, to me, Anakin is. I mean, what's his ass there? Can't remember. Plays Anakin.
Hayden Christensen.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, he is Anakin. It's always going to be Anakin now. It's just like, I mean, and the prequels did give us Palpatine, fleshed out that character, and did it quite well. Over
but Palpatine was already great before the prequels. He was great before the prequels. Let's
he needed the prequels to flesh him out a bit because he was a bit of a caricature.
I don't think so. I think Palpatine was overused, to be honest with you. What made Emperor Palpatine so fucking cool in the trilogy is because we didn't see him in the first movie. We only heard about him, but you knew exactly who he was and how powerful he was. And then we got glimpses of him in the second movie, and the third one we actually got to see him. I think he was used perfectly, and the reason why his character was so beloved in the trilogy is because he was so scarce. Too much of something is a bad thing. Think about it. R2-D2 was everywhere. Do you think people go nuts and crazy over R2-D2? Sure, he's great. Yeah. He's cool. We all like him, but he doesn't get the same fandom that Palpatine does. C-3PO, he was everywhere too. He was everywhere. Too much of something is like, you don't want it all in your face. I want to be able to find that mysteriousness. I want to be able to seek out, a character and wonder what this person's all about, not just have it all thrown in my face.
So you don't like it when a character is actually kind of like given a little bit of a backstory and given a little bit of like an origin story. So, I mean,
like who? Palpatine had plenty of backstory in the trilogy. We knew. Think about it.
In the original trilogy,
I will use an example. I will use an example. I'll take Rey. Rey was the big, center of whatever of the sequels. We still really don't know who she was, what she did, why she had her powers. We didn't know any of that. Palpatine, we didn't see him once in A New Hope, but you knew exactly who he was, what he represented, and what he stood for. You don't need a lot of backstory to understand a character. And you don't have to see them a lot to know their backstory.
So you're not a fan of exposition on any character?
I'm a fan of not having things thrown in my face to a point. Spoon-fed. That's the word. I don't need to be spoon-fed to understand a character. I mean, there's a certain, like Dooku's a great example too. I mean, you didn't need a lot about him to really get an idea of who he was and what he represented, and I like that mysteriousness and having to figure it out for yourself.
But what about all the novels that people have written about Dooku and kind of?
I haven't read them. But I still know who he is.
Do you object to their existence?
No, not at all. Not at all.
There are people out there that are interested in knowing more about a character and seeing more of the character and maybe learning more of the character. To them, it's fulfilling. I mean,
and that's okay. But that's different. Novel is different from motion picture. I mean, you read those books, you get those backstories. That's one thing. For instance, Thrawn. I read books on Thrawn, and I know his character inside and out. I know him very well. Then I watched Rebels, and Rebels didn't give me any of that stuff, but I still enjoyed Rebels, and I still enjoyed the character. I liked having that knowledge, but I didn't need it spoon-fed to me in a motion picture.
So, I mean, if the Ahsoka series comes out, eventually it will, and it has content with Thrawn in it that's relevant to the story, that, like, I mean, because you got to admit that we've got a bit of a, I mean, we have a lot of unanswered questions about what happened between Thrawn and Ezra, going off on their little unplanned adventure together. You kind of do want to. I think a lot of us would like to see that story kind of fulfilled, and maybe that would lead to growth into different areas where you get to maybe see Ezra and Thrawn's relationship together, whatever that may be. I think that would be a worthwhile endeavor. I mean, that's something I personally would like to see, because I haven't read any of the novels that contain Thrawn. I just knew of him as a character that looked interesting and I want to learn more about. But I mean, not everybody has all the time in the world to read all the novels and see all the comic books and just delve into all of the material that's out there, because just too much for one lifetime. Sometimes you just get small little snippets, small little bits, and you would just hope that what you get to see is actually decent and not complete dog shit. Like the prequels were, or not the prequels, but the sequels, contain a lot of dog shit. Quality is the issue. You know what I mean? You want to see some good quality material, thoughtfulness. And you want to have purpose other than just the selling action figures, or drawing people in and then throwing Palpatine in their face, and then everyone's just like, hey man, did you die in 83 or 82? It's just right. Anyway,
And that's the other thing, toys and merchandising. When Star Wars was made, they thought it was just going to be that one movie, and Star Wars, this is what sets the trilogy apart from the original trilogy apart from everything else. Is the original trilogy was made for the purpose of having a story, a great narrative, and putting out a great movie. The prequels, all about toys, merchandising, making money, getting rich, and let's face it, George Lucas is not God, and he's not the one that made the trilogy awesome. Some of his original ideas were terrible. It was his wife that fixed everything in the editing that made that trilogy work really well. And then when George finally took, he divorced his wife, and then he had free reign to do whatever he wanted for the prequels. And let's face it, he made some bad decisions. He did. And then people decided, you know what, you're out. And then Disney came in, and we thought, okay, I had high hopes for Disney, because I thought when they did Tron Legacy, they did an amazing job with that. But the problem with Disney is they don't want to, they don't like taking risks, and they too focused on merchandising and what can we get for toys and how much money can we get off of this. They didn't pick Star Wars because of the name and they were fans. They picked Star Wars and bought it because they thought it was going to be a money grab, and they failed miserably.
Well, that's just basically
they're picking up the pieces with their series, and the reason why is because Jon Favreau and other people who are running the series are actual Star Wars fans, and that's why those are better, because they actually care about the franchise, not about the money.
I mean, people can't have any kind of misconception about what makes the world go round. This isn't a knock against capitalism, but the pursuit of the almighty dollar is kind of negated the artistic quality of many a property, and that's the continued fight. I mean, to find something like a Jon Favreau who can deliver content that doesn't smack of immediately of marketing, but then again at the same time, I still going to GameStop and I'm still looking at a Mandalorian, like, heavy armor, action figure, and there's Mando, and there's
And
like, this,
from what I understand,
that is the purpose.
Favreau
Money is the
wanted
purpose,
to do.
otherwise there'd be no point if money weren't to be had, because no one's interested in the art. They are interested first and foremost in making money.
And that's what they fail to see. When you focus on the product, the money will come. When you focus on the money, the product will not come. It goes to crap.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, Favreau actually wanted to do the Boba Fett thing from the get-go. But Disney said, no, we don't want to do a Boba Fett thing. So that's why he did The Mandalorian, with the expectation of getting them to Boba Fett, which is why Boba Fett came in later, and then now we have the Boba Fett series.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, the guy that did Mandalorian, he wasn't expecting to do that for a long time. All of the point of Mandalorian was to get the public and Disney to buy into a Boba Fett series, which we're going to get here soon. But I'm not a big Boba Fett fan. I don't know why fans craze over him. He had literally a few scenes with a couple of lines in the trilogy. I just don't see where people find him so cool.
That's why we're fleshing out the character, and we're going to see exactly why and how he can be so cool. At some point,
that's post. That's post. You can't sit there and say this person's cool then, but you're doing stuff after. What made him cool? The thing that to me that made him cool was the fact that he was this mysterious guy that didn't talk very much, and you didn't know what was going on. But then let's face it, the moment he actually had a chance to step up and do something, he got dropped in like a few seconds, and by like a mistake. Like, I'm one of those people that said, like, when he fell in that Sarlacc pit, he should have stayed dead because he wasn't the badass that we thought he was.
Let's just say that at some point you're going to produce something that's new material that will appeal to people and hopefully hold true to the original source material and add to it. For me, the positive is I really like Ming-Na Wen. Who out there likes Ming-Na Wen?
Everyone does.
Who thinks that she's probably one of the most talented and beautiful women that's alive today? I mean, she's.
And with that, I'm gonna go to the to the toilet because I'll let you go ahead and for a second.
It wasn't gonna get
her.
weird. Bye. You do what you have to do, buddy. Funny, like one mention of Ming-Na Wen, he's off to the loo. Anyway, wow, that's getting kind of heated. I personally, I think that they can produce like whatever they want to produce as long as it's well done and interesting. I'm not like too critical about these things. It's just like you can't be too like critical about the things that like these companies are producing, because once you get too, I don't know, you can't be too negative down on things, because it's just like, then America becomes like a nightmare, as long as it's not garbage. The one thing that in all of like Star Wars that has been crap is the sequels. And beyond that, everything else has been fairly decent. And I think, that's something that we can build on. Right? Yay. Hey, really quick out there, who has been watching?
Yeah, okay, Mr. Rogers. I heard every word you said. I'm not down or negative. I'm just saying I'm not buying into the cattle herding masses.
Okay. No, I hear you. No. we're still friends. We still understand. We're still.
I'm not going to
we're still-
suckle from the Disney teat. If the product is not good, I'm not going to sit there and say, "Oh, this is great," and start, orgasming over everything they put out. I'm sorry.
Okay. Wow. I was just gonna ask, like, everyone if they like Hawkeye. If okay. Oh,
I think Hawkeye's okay because I feel like this is what I think Hawkeye is going on, and I don't want to get too much into this because it's not Star Wars, but
no, I know.
I think obviously the actor's getting old, and I think they're grooming, just like they did for Spider-Man and everything else. They're grooming a replacement. So I think the girl is going to be the new Hawkeye, basically. I mean, it's pretty obvious.
That's how comic books work anyway. So yeah.
Which reminds me, I haven't seen the last 2 weeks. I need to catch up.
I'm thinking I need to go see Spider-Man tomorrow, but I'm probably gonna be.
Yeah,
home.
I'm actually seeing that next week when I get home.
I don't really want to go to a theater though. I don't know. I wish it were possible to watch it at home. I don't know how comfortable everyone is with the state of things as far as certain things that I won't mention because it seems to be once you mention them, like YouTube doesn't really like it too much, so we won't mention it. But it's kind of the elephant in the room. I'm not really, I don't know, going to a theater. I haven't really done it in the last couple of years. Let's just put it that way. I'd rather watch it at home because I have this at home. I've got another 4-pack of this shit. I'd rather watch Spider-Man at home if at all possible. Hell, I paid $20-$30 to see it. Come on, HBO Max. Make it possible. Let's do this thing. Come on. All right. No, it's not all right.
Oh,
They're not going to do that, are they? Bastards. I'm on 3.
Well, mine are full liter bottles, so.
All right.
Yeah.
You were so competitive. Yeah. That's
No,
right.
I'm just saying. This is my second, but it's like I'm on 3 because there's so many. The bottles are large.
All right. So,
And yeah, I actually am a very competitive person too.
I know. I like getting under your skin about that every once in a while. To me, it's fun. Anyway.
Just don't play me in racquetball.
Nah, you kick my ass at racquetball. I'm like so out of shape. There's just no way. Dude, you're in the military. You must be like,
Yeah, I'm a musician. There's a difference. I mean, I still do all the the required army stuff, but
yeah.
so I'm gonna share my screen here so you can, because now we're talking about sabers, and I want to kind of get back to that a bit here. And,
Sabers. What is this thing, Sabers?
I ordered. Yeah, I know. I ordered from a company called Elegant Sabers. They're based out of France, and I got this saber called the Padawan. Now this one here is actually their Mark III, but I got the Mark IV, which I'm trying to find a picture of. I don't know why it's not up here, but it's supposed to be nice because you can put these different weights and stuff in the pommel to based on how much you want to flow with it. It's supposed to have solid electronics. They emailed me and said that the saber's done. They just had to. They didn't calculate the VAT, so I had to pay a little extra 20 euro, something like that.
Naturally,
I should be seeing this saber soon. I'm going to be gone, so I'm not going to see it before I leave. But I'm looking forward to seeing what that saber is going to be like, and
it's a stunt
doing a
saber.
good unboxing for that. It has sound and it has light and sound.
There's
But I'm
actually
going to see. I want to see how the French are handling their sabers because I have that saber from Poland, and I actually want to get some from War Sabers too from Russia and see how their stuff is too because I hear that Cerberus, I think, is their soundboard. It's supposed to be pretty decent too.
There's a Mexican company called Ancient Saber, and their hilts are
Mexico.
really cool. Yeah, actually, like all their prices are in pesos. So you look at the price and you go $3,900 for a saber. Well, it's actually like it's $150 or whatever. Yeah, I've been meaning to buy from them. They actually like I communicated with them a bit because their hilts are phenomenal. If you ever want to, I check them out. Their shit's really cool. And I just because everything that's been going on in the world with like borders and COVID, and I just kind of like, and the fact that like just the money isn't flowing. But I definitely that they're a company I plan on buying from at some point. Their hilts look really cool, and if you look at like Stunt Sabers, that guy keeps coming out like more and more hilt designs. It's just like so cool. Like every day I see something new on Instagram, and I'm like, holy shit. The guy really knows.
And I got the Guardian.
That's
I got
beautiful.
the Guardian from Stunt Sabers, and I still need to do the review on this. I thought this is got to be like similar to a candy hilt, but I couldn't put my pinpoint it. But I think this is close to or inspired by Depa Billiba. I think this is
Yeah,
by her.
exactly. That's what it looks like to me. I really like that hilt design.
The only thing I don't like about this is I haven't figured out how to get accent swings. It's just all smooth or standard swing.
That's what I like about the Golden Harvest V3 is it just eats up those accent swings. There are so many we need to do
yes,
they
are RGB
where we talk about just those like weird little companies that no one has heard of that we may or may not have bought something from, like that French company that you bought something from. It's just like that's the kind of shit that I'm into. If I had the money, I would definitely, because you can't just keep buying from the same companies over and over again. That's why I like JQ Sabers. It's like that's not a company that people buy from a lot. But the thing is, it's like I kind of like it. I've been a little bit disappointed because JQ Sabers had a lot of hilts that were sort of like my Conspirator, which is my favorite, one of my favorite shooters of all time. And like he spends a lot of time making cannon hilts, and I'm just not as into cannon hilts as I am into like unique to that company type of material, like designs and whatnot. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm glad that I found that elegant sabers. I think they were talking about Michelle, and that was I think where I was linked over to that because she does a lot of flow stuff. Hey, what's up, Alan? But I'm like you. Like I like a lot of the Saberforge stuff, but at the same time, it's like I want to try something different too.
Yeah. Preferably if it's not too insanely overly priced,
And I think that's another reason why I've been kind of going to Saberforge here lately is because I know I can get a decent saber there for under $300, and I just don't. I'm sorry, I don't want to spend more than like $250 or $220 for an LGT saber. I just can't. Mainly because I just don't think their electronics are very reliable. The Sinister Prophecy, I have not. It does work. It is an NEC board, but I haven't. I have a new speaker. I just have to install it. But from what I could tell, the only issue was the speaker, because when I was actually holding this speaker, it's vibrating funny. But when I was actually holding the speaker and then moving it, all the sound didn't cut out. It was still good. So
for a
it
fact
does have, which is I haven't tried to change the colors yet, so I don't know if it's Tricree. But looking at the
No, not Tricree. Spark 3.
oh, I don't think it's a Spark 3. I think it might be an igniter because I don't think it's RGB. But it does have 2 buttons, and the second button does all the auxiliary stuff like blaster and lockup and all that. So I think it's an igniter, but it responds really well. I just got to replace the speaker, add in the pommel, and maybe try to. I'm not even going to try to deal with the chassis. I just don't think it, because this is all one piece. This is a one piece design, so trying to feed stuff through is just going to be crazy. But
with Saberforge, a lot of times the actual hilts themselves sort of become the chassis. It's really weird. That's how I'm sort of.
Well, they have a smaller diameter than most other sabers.
Yeah, I wanted to address. Commander Dale was asking about LDM sabers. And LDM Sabers is one of those companies that I've kind of kept an eye on for a long time, but they've sort of fallen prey to the LGT bug, which has kind of hit a lot of companies that like Key Sabers and Bendu Armory. It's just like everyone's kind of falling in line with the whole LGT thing, and I'm just sort of I'm kind of bored with that, And I understand it. It's just kind of like, you're selling a bunch of hilts that, it's kind of an easy sort of niche to get into, but I don't know, it's a lot more work to sell your own hilts and your own material, and just to kind of like, for the sake of making a little bit of extra money, you get into the whole LGT loop. It's getting kind of tired. I'm kind of getting sick of seeing it. I'm kind of. Okay. As far as LGT sabers goes, I have that Silver Crusher. Love that thing. I have my Antares, which I've modded. I love that thing, and
have tons.
I have an LGT. I wish I should have brought it down here. I have a NeoPixel saber that I've constructed out of pieces parts over the course of like a year and a half. I call it the Secular because I'm an atheist nutbag. And the Secular is one of my favorite sabers, and it has the Dark Wolf Profi 2.2 soundboard in it, and I added the that cover deck wheel little add-on that that we bought from that store that you told me about. What the fuck? They had the little add-on, that extender.
Yeah, the adapter from Stoops Kyber. Yeah.
One of my Antares, the other one went on to the Secular, and I'm perfect with them now. And I bought a new pommel from I think I don't remember the name of the company, but I bought a new pommel for my Antares, and then the pommel from the Antares went into the Secular, and I've kind of got that whole like LGT thing. Like, I'm done. I don't really need any more LGT sabers. I mean, I don't really care what they come out with. They're coming out with like so many wonderful designs and a lot of cannon hilts, and I'm just kind of like,
they're starting to cost too much.
I don't really care anymore. It's becoming boring.
Let's hold that thought. Let's get caught up on some of the comments here.
I'm actually going to go hit the loo. So
Shannon,
I'll be right back.
Okay, I'll get caught up in. So Forged by Light, yes, I did see Lando's video on the smaller speaker, and honestly, I was surprised, and it seems like it's performing at the same level as their 28, which I'm amazed by that, because it's like what, 22 millimeter, something like that. But the way he explained it and the arrangement that they have with Vecco to create that speaker, it all makes sense. Me personally, I've heard a 24 compared to a 28, and I'm still very skeptical. I want to hear it with my own eyes because recordings just don't really do it justice. They don't. Trying to do light comparisons on a video doesn't make sense because cameras don't show brightness and pick up the right, color saturation and stuff. Same thing with, how you're recording, the sound. But I did see the video, and I'm a little more confident that it's probably good. But I really want to hear it with my own ears to really get an accurate assessment. But it seems like it's legit. Yes, I think Saberforge did actually change their LEDs. But you can see that on the website to get that information. Mackie, for Saberforge, which electronics is the best bang for your buck? Based on my mystery box, I would say Veteran is not, but I don't think this is the First Harvest soundboard. What I saw in their demo video for the Veteran tier seemed much better and really nice compared to what I have in this. It doesn't seem like it's First Harvest. So if it is like their video, I would say, yeah, that's the way to go. Other than that, I would say just stick with the Golden Harvest itself. Champion tier is just a single color, and then Hero tier is your RGB, which to me makes no sense. Why are you charging a little bit more for RGB? The board is capable of doing all of it. I think it would make more sense to have the Champion tier be RGB, and then just make the Hero tier NeoPixel, and done. Veteran tier, First Harvest, simpler board, not customizable. Champion tier, RGB, customizable. Hero tier, full bells and whistles with NeoPixel. Yeah, a lot of people do seem to be happy with the 22 millimeter speaker. Because Saber Trio, I mean, let's face it, they have a reputation of putting out quality. They're not going to put out crap, and I think they're Star Wars fans and they believe in lightsabers. So I don't think that they would switch to something smaller if it was going to be a step back on quality.
Lando's video convinced me. I mean, it was pretty obvious that the quality was still there and the sound was still there.
Yeah, the 22 millimeter speaker is not as bassy, but I think it all depends on the font. Like for me, when he did the Kylo Ren was the best example because it didn't have as much bass, but I heard more of the detail and the nuance of the crossguard sound font than if it had the more bass in there. So I just think it all really depends on the font that you're using. So I think this is good. We should get into the whole LGT thing. I have to say, when LGT first started flooding the market, I thought, okay, this is cheap Chinese crap. No. And then when they did the whole V6 RGBX smooth swing, eco smooth swing core, I thought, okay, we're onto something here. We can get some sabers that kind of give us some of the higher end features at a low end cost. But then I saw how unreliable those cores were. Them things are just breaking all the time. And then you just started seeing resellers pop up left and right, and there's LGT sabers everywhere. And now I feel like I went LGT. I ordered from Crimson Dawn a lot. I did some Dark Wolf stuff. I ordered from them because I felt like it was affordable. And it was during the pandemic when all these other shops are kind of shutting down and they weren't producing a lot of sabers. So LGT was a good alternative. But now when I look at LGT stuff, especially Dark Wolf, like the prices are so high for what you're getting. And I don't know, just for me, I hate seeing a Saber with these two screws here and then that recharge port and that same red illuminated switch. I just know what it is. I know it's an LGT core, and I'm not completely satisfied with them. And then I think, okay, that's a decent looking hilt. I'll order that. I can probably get it for 150, 180 bucks, whatever. But now all these LGT hilts are above 200 bucks. And then you start getting into the GHV3 cores, and now you're talking $300, $400, $500. I'm like, why would I do that when I can go to Saberforge now and order a Golden Harvest hilt that's going to be way nicer and have like solid, sturdy electronics for like $100 less than an LGT Saber? So I just feel like LGT is trying to move themselves into this elite custom Saber category, and that's exactly what they're not. It's assembly line Sabers that are just with no quality control, just put it together and then ship it off to a reseller who doesn't check it themselves. They just either drop ship it or look at it and say, okay, put it in the box and fulfill the order, and they don't know what they're sending you. And it could not, and it could be like not even functional, and they won't know because they don't check this stuff.
And a lot of that, unreliability isn't really factored into the pricing at all. I mean, it's almost
not at all.
You're paying for like an install from Solo Sabers or Babu Sabers or one of the higher echelon like installers. When in reality you're getting something that's probably going to break after a year. If you're lucky, it'll last a year.
Well before a year. It'll break in a few weeks or a couple of months.
I mean, you and I have both had cores that have died after a matter of
days,
weeks. Modest amount of usage, and and the thing is like, even if you have okay, this is secular, and this has the dark wolf Profi 2.2 core in it. And
they're all the same, coming from the same place.
Yeah, it came with the blade is actually a really, really, really well made, heavy quality blade. The LEDs don't really move too much, not as much as they used to. So the blade's been quite reliable. But as far as the core goes, I mean, you pay, how much do these go for? Like 100, 150, something like that. And the thing is, like, this whole package, you're talking about like maybe a $250, $300 package with all the pieces, parts, and I do love the Saber, but like I have Sabers that I've purchased from other companies for just a bit more. My Vector, my Genesis Custom Sabers Vector, which I've had for 2 years, it's never failed me. Unless I do something incredibly stupid with that Saber, it's not going to fail me. But I accept.
But I'll tell you what, though, when you hold that LGT Saber, it feels cheaper and more like a toy compared to something else from another company like Saber Trio, Saberforge, Genesis Custom Sabers, Vader's Vault. Those Sabers feel solid, complete, like weapons. And LGT just feels smaller, cheaper.
This is purpose built. This is built specifically to be an Obi-Wan. Boom, done.
And then here's the thing now. This here ran us what? $220 for the mystery box. Now, granted, we were supposed to have first harvest. We didn't, but let's just say, we did get the first harvest. $220 for this. Awesome. These things now are going in the $200 range, and you're not getting nearly as much, and the reliability is not there. It's going to crap out on you.
What you're seeing is that because of the global shortage of components, and because a lot of companies can't produce the simple volume that LGT can produce, you're seeing a supply and demand issue where you can charge $400 or $500 for a Saberforge or Genesis Custom Sabers or even a Saber Trio, and you start getting the price is a little bit higher on LGT simply because of availability and the shortage of availability of like a Saber Trio. I mean, Saber Trio, you can only, if you're lucky, 3 or 4 times a year they'll be available, but LGT is available all the time. So I mean, it's like this weird little dichotomy of like supply and demand, where like they're
But
taking
don't you
advantage of the
find it
market
odd
situation.
that we've got this shortage, but yet LGT is still able to kick this stuff out? I mean,
Yeah,
they're still making profit, and now they're switching to the Golden Harvest. I mean, so
but
I don't
America,
know. It's just
America is an instant gratification based capitalistic society. We want, and we want now. When do we want? Yesterday or tomorrow. Give us our Saber tomorrow. I mean, that's what's been driving LGT a lot of the time. Is just the fact that like a lot of the companies that are distributing in this country, fast shipping. Like when you order,
and that's
from
the problem.
Saber,
We're doing it to ourselves. You have all these newbies coming into the community saying, remember, we got this huge influx of, how long's the shipping? How long's the shipping? Fortunately, I don't get those comments much anymore. And the few that I do get, I don't even reply to. But everybody wants their Saber within a week. Well, guess what? When you get your Saber in a week, you can't complain when it doesn't work or when it craps out, just as quickly as you got it. Because part of that long wait time is not just building the Saber, but also make sure it's done correctly and quality control. Once it's built, they're still holding on to it for a while before they ship it to you because they want to make sure that everything is working properly over time.
I just want to say I did one of my very first videos I did was for a Kybers. I don't even know what the hell the hilt is. I don't even have it anymore. It's one of my oldest videos, and I still get comments. People ask me questions about that hilt. I'm like, the video is 2 years old. I appreciate that you've been watching my video. But I mean, it has been 2 years. One would hope that the technology has advanced some. And I'm really, really sad. And I'm really sorry that your Kyber is crapped out on you. But why are you writing to me 2 years later? It's like, what can I do? And I get that a lot. That one video, it's my most watched video. It's probably one of the most watched videos on YouTube. Did I get paid for all of that? No. It's funny. It's a funny.
Yeah,
video.
LGT has kind of gotten. I almost just stopped looking, and some of the hilt designs are interesting and they look good to me, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I think I might want that. But then when I go into the electronics option and start choosing cores and stuff, these Sabers are getting close to $500, and if you get a Canon hilt, those are definitely over $500. I'm like, I'm not paying that kind of money for an LGT hilt. I'm not.
And it's the same damn sound font over and over and over.
If I'm gonna pay $500, I'm gonna get something else. My Count Mark II probably costs less than some of these LGT stuff going out there now. It's just it's crazy. Yeah, and my go-to is still Crimson Dawn. I look at Dark Wolf sometimes, and they have a lot of options, and they have more cores and stuff. That it seems like, but they charge more for their hilts than Crimson Dawn does. And then I look at Epic Sabers, and Epic Sabers is great, and they're less than Crimson Dawn now, and Crimson Dawn is even creeping up. It's like I don't understand. Like when I first started shopping through Crimson Dawn, I got my Profi Shade for $180, and that was the Profi core, and I tell you, and that sucker was great. And then I ordered a gray shade with the Xenopixel, and that was $140, I think, or $150. Great saber. And now I'm seeing these other resellers selling the same thing, and it's like $280 now, $250. I'm like, I just don't see where the upcharge is. And those are the plain hilts.
What the hell? My Saber just spoke to me randomly.
I heard it.
That was really weird. And I just saw that Forged by Light. He said that they wish the Kyberlight would use the CFX of Golden Harvest 3, and I'm kind of like I think that they're like one of those.
I don't. Why? I don't think it's necessary because I
I-
saw your review on the Kyberlight, their recent one, and that
It is
board
a
seems
really,
fine.
it is a very very good board. I mean,
To a point where I looked at them, I was like, "Oh, maybe I should get myself one." And then I saw the price, and I said, "Nope."
yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's like you buy one, and then it's just like you accessorize it the way you want. But as far as the board goes, the newest, I believe they're up to version 5. I still do think that that's a very nice board. I think version 6, if they can figure out a way to incorporate CFX sound fonts, then they're done. Then they're good. Yeah, I mean the problem with Kyberlight is like once you buy the one hilt and you accessorize it, I get all kinds of marketing material from them, and I'm just like, I have no need to ever buy from you again because I've got my hilt, I got the package I want, I got the blade I want, and beyond that, there's not much you have to offer. It's just you only have one hilt design, and it comes in either black or silver. I mean, I don't know. It must be really hard to market a real specific niche company like that. But what they're doing, I think they're doing well. So power to them if someone wants to get me. The Genesis Custom Sabers Bad Axe. All right.
Bottoms
That
up.
is the bomb shizzle of all sabers. I mean, I would if I was told, hey man, you gotta pick like one saber that you gotta keep. It would be my Genesis Custom Sabers Vector. Everything else will be gone, and I would have this. And I mean, this is nothing compared to a Bane. The Bane, or the Bad Axe, is
Bad X. Yes.
it's y'all don't know. Y'all have never even been to Genesis Custom Sabers website, have you? You haven't seen what Rob Packow has to offer, have you?
His site is not very. I mean, it's very disjunct and not very. It's not the easiest to navigate. That's what I need to say.
Well, that's pretty much the state of affairs with most websites that you go to look at sabers. Unless, of course, you go to Electrum Sabercraft's website and you notice there's a distinct similarity to Saber Trio's website. Someone out there needs to buy Emery a Bad Axe. Come on, guys. We can get this done. We can do this. We can.
I have never been gifted a saber. That would
I've
be
never
awesome.
been gifted a saber. Fuck you, man. No, I've never been gifted a saber, but I've had sabers that have been given to me. Hey, can you please review this thing? And actually, no. I think
I would gladly review someone else's saber. It gives me more content. I get to use it and see what it's all about and decide if I want one for myself and then ship it back to them.
I would just like to see the look on your face if you open up a package and there was a Bad Axe in there and it wasn't like a piece of shit with like a crystal shard blabbity blue, but it was actually like CFX equipped in like really nice condition, NeoPixel. And you probably, I think you'd be all set. That would probably be your unicorn right there.
Yeah. I think after a Bad Axe, I would probably be like, I'm done. I'm good. And honestly, I have a long list of content that I still need to do where I don't need to have or buy another saber to keep the channel going. And again, I still have these project, installs and stuff and upgrades that I should probably do too.
But life is long and you'll get around to it eventually one of these days.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind getting another vector. This is kind of like, I'm realizing this is sort of my, this was one of my first real, like, bougie, expensive sabers that I ever bought. And I wouldn't mind getting the silver and black version rather than the black and silver version, the dark side version, which I have here. But I don't really have any need to think more on this.
Commander Dale has a question for you there.
Oh. It was probably on the order of about 450, maybe 500, but the only thing is he doesn't sell them anymore. Sorry. I like owning a hilt that you just can't get. And I take real good care of this thing. This thing's my baby. Here, check this shit out. This is one of the coolest.
Oh, completely full chassis. That's great.
Yeah, look at you got your battery, the battery here, and the soundboard is here, and it's held in with kind of like a ring, and you can kind of lift it up. You kind of lift it up. What am I doing here? Lift it up, and you can access the micro SD card, and then you make all your changes. Just make sure that this is positive. I never want to fry the board on this thing because this is one of my most precious things. And then you very carefully. I mean, this is the best hilt system of all time. This is the GOAT. And it's like a little pin that you line up here. That way, you know that you have your like switch holes lined up with the holes in the hilt. And this thing is thick. You could duel the hell out of this thing. Other than the fact that it's NeoPixel. And it's my baby. Rob, if you're out there watching, dude, you're my bro. This thing's so awesome. Anyway. Obviously, like I jam on my Genesis custom sabers. Is there anyone that like they're out there where there's like an overflowing, just complete like unrealistic amount of love that you have for whatever saber that you have or whatever company sold it to you? It could just be like that one hilt that this one company sold to you, and you're just like, oh my word, like and I'm sure like 75% of you are gonna be like, it's Saber Trio, because my next would be my Saber Trio Senza. The Senza is just, which I bought from this dude. That thing is just like, one of the best things I ever bought. But Isaac, back off, man. You'll never get past the security system. Hey, how many of those Oceans movies have you seen? Huh? Because I got like sharks with freaking laser beams on them. I've got a freaking moat. Isaac don't know. Get into my freaking fortress of solitude.
Scotty don't.
Scotty knows. What the hell are you talking about? Scotty knows. It's Isaac don't know. You'll never find the plans to my lair, my friend. You will never find the plans to my lair. You can try, but you will fail. Miserable fool. Okay, I gotta stop.
This is an interesting question. Turtle Meme said if you could basically only have sabers from one company, but you can have all of them, and you can't get from anywhere else, what company would it be?
Right. If you could have every saber from one company, I would say probably Genesis Custom Sabers, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I would love to have the
I would say
speeder.
Vader's Vault.
Huh?
Vader's
Yeah.
Vault for me. I don't own a single Vader's Vault, but those hilts are beautiful. But the lead time and the price is just way out of my range. But if I could only have one, it would be them.
Yeah, but the thing is then you don't get your bad axe. What one hilt do they have that like equals a bad axe? I mean, I know Isaac is like all about his like crossguard saber, whatever the fuck they have there, but like, and that's all well and good. But like, dude, they don't even have a curved hilt saber over there. I mean, okay, I love
surprising.
I don't even remember. Oh my god, my brain is like, trying to switch gears to Vader's Vault. Oh my word. What are you eating?
Oh, these gummy crocodile things with the little white bottom. Yeah, they're very good.
My sovereign. Oh fuck! My god, my brain. My sovereign. I mean, I really like the sovereign. Someone's been selling a protector on eBay for a while now, and it's a protector elite, and that's really nice. But like, none of that even comes close to matching the bravado of the bad axe, dude. I mean, let's face it. I mean, if you got all Genesis custom sabers, you get what he has currently. He's got the Ascend.
He only has like 3 or 4 sabers to choose from.
That's the thing. It's like if you're looking for quantity, then obviously, if you're gonna have every single one of like.
Honestly, his sabers don't really stand. The bad axe is the only one that stands out to me as anything I would like or deem special. I think everything else is just.
Careful.
Like the Ascend doesn't look very good to me.
Don't miss the Creed.
The Creed, if it's not like weathered or doctored up, that just seems kind of
what.
His sabers are practical, but they're not beautiful outside of the bad axe, in my opinion. Sorry.
He's a dick. Big bag of dicks. I love my Creed, man. I love it. Okay, God, now I gotta go get my Creed. No, I got too many sabers down here now. Gosh darn it. All right, so you chose Vader's Vault. Now, like based on sheer volume, I'd have to go Ultra. Yeah.
Hey, the remove button is not that far of a click for me.
Sorry. Wow. Saying that with a straight face. Next one possible.
I know, right?
Holy crap. Hey, you want to talk about those guys? That's good for a larf. Seriously.
That's funny. He said, "You're at the laughing stage."
I am. Wow. Well, I start laughing when when I hear the word Ultra Sabers.
Yeah, they're a joke. But I never thought their hilts really looked that good. I mean, I got two of their mystery boxes, and I got the Monarch, and then I got the Empress only so I can install it myself. But outside of that, like I don't have anything else for them.
Isaac has the Monarch, and he did a little video on the Monarch, a couple videos ago, and I like the Monarch. I don't have one, but I think probably I like one of the few hilts that I would probably keep of the ones that I have, because they've all been kind of outclassed by other things, is the what is it, the Scorpion? Is that what it's called?
That big one with the claw,
The red one, the Crimson Scorpion with the claw.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but that's still like that hilt's still the shit. That thing is like you can beat someone to death with it. It doesn't even need a blade. Electronics, who needs electronics? That thing's a bludgeoning weapon. And it looks cool doing it too. I have to really start selling those things. Yeah, it's massive, but
Good luck.
Yeah, right.
I feel like I'm going to sell mine too. Actually, I only have the Empress left, the Monarch left. I have a Sentinel. That was a stunt that I'm going to upgrade, and then I have an Initiate, but I'm probably just going to keep that one. The Empress is already installed. I just need to post it again and see if I can sell that. And that's probably going to go for
that Aeon I
450.
have. That Aeon I have that's installed with a Pico Crumble is pretty awesome now. That's like one of the nicest installs I've ever seen on an Ultra Saber. And then of course, I've got my Blue Force Sabers, freaking Adam from Blue Force Sabers did me right on a couple of mine, and I keep those. And I mean, the thing is, it's like the proper install and some customization. And Ultra Sabers isn't really that bad. It's the stuff that comes directly from their company, that's just garbage.
Well, I'm thinking of, they're talking about mystery boxes down there. Speaking of mystery boxes, like at first I thought, oh, Ultra Mystery Box, that's exciting and pretty affordable. But then I started watching other people's videos and then what I got, and it's like the selection is very limited what they put into those mystery boxes. And you usually don't get lucky. Even when people say, "Oh, I got lucky," you're not getting lucky with that stuff. It's all trash. But with the Saberforge mystery boxes, those are more fun to me because, if you get the electronics were better at the time, and if we actually get this first harvest thing going, that's even better. But the choice of hilt, like you don't know what you're going to get. I mean, and the hilts are just better. I mean, I have much classier hilts.
And they run such a gambit of different designs and different aesthetic choices that and they have such a large catalog, you really don't know what you could possibly get. And chances are, if I've probably, let me see, I bought
I've never been disappointed by a hilt, that's for sure.
I think I've bought like 5 or 6 mystery sabers, and one of my favorites is the Archon. That was great with
that was
I
actually of
that.
all the sabers you got. Like when you got that mystery box, I thought, damn, I wish I got that lucky because that hilt looks good.
The thing
even though, but it came at a cost. Like you sliced your hand up pretty good on that one.
Well, the thing is, it's like I don't have that issue like with that hilt. I've learned how to handle it. It has the weird sort of like the weird way that's cut out. The way that the shroud over the whatever it is. I have no issues with that hilt now. I can literally just swing that thing with wild abandon. And it's one of the nicest. I love that thing. I love that Archon. And I will never change the Sabercore 3.0 with the assassin font there, whatever. Ugh.
Yeah, I still have my Sabercore 3.0 from my Vanquish before I upgraded it. So Commander Dale, Absolute Sabers was on here earlier, and he was talking about LDM, and he supports them and says that they're really good. Turtle, I did a few install series. I did a CFX one, and I did that one with the Verso. But my installation series didn't get a lot of views. I mean, several comments, and people liked them and said that it was helpful, and it really got them going for their own builds and things. But those videos didn't seem to perform too well, which is okay. I mean, I didn't do it just for, but you have to be into that sort of thing to really like those. And let's face it, there's other installers out there that are far better than me and have way more experience. But I think what made those videos special is when I did those, I'm just an ordinary guy who wasn't trained or didn't know a lot and just made it work. And so I was hoping that I was speaking to the average person and the level of getting them to be able to do an install.
I noticed that Isaac has a Bane Mark II, and I have a Bane Mark I. That was I was kind of actually hoping that both of us would receive Banes. I think Saberforge Bane would be a good addition to your collection, Emery.
Funny story.
Really want my Bane Mark
when I first started shopping for my first Saber ever, I wanted the Bane, and they had the Mark II then. And unfortunately, it was sold out. And I emailed Saberforge and I said, "Hey, is this going to come in stocks, anytime?" And they said, "Yeah, it will," but it didn't. And I thought, okay, I'm not waiting any longer. I'm going to order a curved hilt. And I went with the Vanquish because that was what the next best thing that they had that I liked. And then shortly after I ordered that, the Bane came in stock. And I thought, I'll get around to ordering it. And I never did because I was satisfied with the Vanquish. And the Vanquish is hard to come by. Like, that one's hard to find in stock now.
Vanquish is, I mean, I have a Vanquish, and it's just I think it's a Sabercore 2.0. It's a really nice hilt. It's a very, very quality dueler. It doesn't have quite the the accoutrements of a Bane, but it's so simple and so just eloquent and simple in the hand.
Yeah, BK, we are still going. And he said cheers, so let me go ahead and gosh, I'm out of beer. I should.
All right, Brian. Since you showed up, I gotta pay homage to you, my friend. Producer of some of my most favorite sound fonts of all time.
Yeah, Turtle. The Vanquish is heavier for sure. It's a two-handed saber where the Bane is definitely a 1.
Don't mute me.
Just because you said that. Sorry, folks. I'll unmute him.
There you go, Brian. He's my dude.
Oh, Brian, your gray assassin is really nice. I did a font review for Jada Lorian, and my next font review is going to be the gray assassin. And I'm going to try to knock that out tomorrow because that's a really good font. I'm feeling that one.
Listen to that. All right. I'm done. This guy has produced like probably 4 or 5 of my all-time favorite sound fonts. Anyway,
I think I may give everyone a sneak preview of my upcoming Jadalorian sound font review.
do it.
Okay. Just give me a moment here.
I do like Jay DeLorean. Oh, I
And
just
this and this is the luxury of being able to be on a live stream. So here we go. This is a sneak peek, ladies and gentlemen, or just gentlemen, of my sound font review for Jay DeLorean. And I will eventually be doing this for BK's sound fonts as well.
Hey Saber fans, this is Grey Paladin, and I'm here to bring you my very first lightsaber sound font review. I've
Are you
done,
wearing a bathrobe?
of course, review lightsabers, but I have not yet reviewed a
It's fireside
sound
chat.
font. So this will be the first, hopefully, of many. And I want to do this in a relaxed, calm environment, like a fireside chat, if you will. So the font that I was inspired to review is by Jadalorian, called Oda Nobunaga. And Oda Nobunaga was a Japanese daimyo in the 16th century, and he's kind of known as the great unifier of Japan. He also earned the nickname Demon Daimyo, and he basically went forth throughout Japan and chopped down his enemies and united Japan under his single rule. And that's just kind of the Wikipedia version. Please feel free to copy formats.
So I show some of the files
font
in there, so
So
you
let's
know what
just
comes
take
in
a
the
look
font
at-
package.
with the power on and the hum. Now, I especially like this hum because it's not really a hum, it's more of a mood. You have this music that's playing in the background, really in the forefront, and you have these tones, these mystic tones, as if you're in a monastery. That kind of low growling tone. And you almost hear like monks chanting in the back.
Now wait for this part here. This is
Now,
just
one
really
thing
cool.
that I really like is only one pairing, but I feel that's all we need on this font. We get into the smooth swing, and it just makes me feel like it's an ancient samurai cyborg robot, as odd as that sounds. But it just sounds like the gears and the joints moving on this mechanical samurai.
Now you're gonna like this part here.
Grace, and you have to take your own life. What's going to help you take that life is as you run your dagger into your insides, this samurai, this ancient robot samurai, take your head off. And so I want you just for a moment, just close your eyes. You're on your knees, kneeling in disgrace, ready to end your life. And all you hear is this sound. That's the arms raising of this mechanical samurai. And then off rolls your head.
Yeah. So that's just the sneak peek. Yeah, you're probably done drinking.
No, I'm fine. Hi.
So BK, I actually have 11 smoking pipes, and I do wear my robe, and when I have a nice relaxing night, I have a little cocktail, I light my pipe, and I smoke my pipe.
You really have a pipe.
I have several, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't do anything small. When I find something I like, I invest in it all the way. Go big or go home.
I respect that.
Top 10 tips how to murder people with great paladin.
I kind of think that we kind of set the seminal moment of YouTube history tonight.
Speaking of how to murder and things like that, there is another video that we'll be releasing soon. And with that one, this comes from Shannon at Forged by Light, hooked me up pretty well. And I'm including that in my comparison video for the Count Mark 1 and 2. So I'll just give you a quick peek at the intro and opening credits. So I will share that as well because I think Shannon will like this. So here we go.
It is obvious that this cannot be decided by our knowledge of the Force, but by our skills with a lightsaber.
Hey, Saber fans, this is Great Paladin.
And that is going to be the comparison video for the two.
I remember when
Mark
Shannon used to do stuff like that for me back in the day.
Well, you have so many of them, and you couldn't decide. Like every time you did a video with some different kind of intro. Branding, you have to brand yourself.
Back in the day. I need to drink more. Oh, that's so good. Shannon, you are doomed, my friend. You are doomed.
Yeah, I've got a few videos. Like I was working yesterday and today, just filming and editing and uploading.
You can bring in the effort, you know.
Yeah. I try.
Yeah.
I mean,
I just my problem is that I've been going to work and just doing a little bit too much lately because the world's gone insane in the Weihnacht.
Yeah, the Weihnachts beer. It's a Christmas beer from Germany.
Yeah, I remember when I had my first beer. Oh, that's right. Here. Here you go, Brian. This is beer that you can actually get in the States. Although I'm sure that Emery would probably tell you it's inferior. But you know what? It gets you fucked up right well and proper. Yeah.
Why would I say it's inferior? Beer's beer, man.
As far as I'm concerned, anything that's fermented beverage with alcohol content, it's probably going to be good for me. Unless it's a lambic. I'm not really into lambics. Do you ever cranberry lambic? I remember someone handed me one of those. It's like, hey, it's a cranberry lambic. And I'm like, does it have alcohol in it? They're like, yes. I'm like, okay, I'll try it.
It's usually very low percentage, but like framboise is a lambic. It's it's about the fruit and the flavor. It's supposed to be like that hybrid crossover between wine and beer, I think.
Yeah, it just didn't do it for me. It was a little bit too extreme. Excuse me. Sumimasen.
How rude.
Say what?
Actually, you belch and then I can put that up. So sophisticated. It's not referring to that, but I just added that.
So my beer is like a laser blast. Oh my god, I haven't read any of this crap. What the fuck are you all writing?
Thanks, Turtle. We hope we're gonna get these veterans fixed too. And honestly, if they can't, I'll just tell them just upgrade me to the first harvest anyway, because I really want to. We were really hoping to experience that board tonight, and then that was going to be our primary discussion.
That's the one thing that went wrong tonight, because other than that, everything else was great. It's just like it's just weird. Like, why did they do this stuff? I mean, these are the subtle little it's neglecting, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, decorum or whatever. It just like fucks everything up, because otherwise I love this help.
Yeah, I mean the hilt itself, I like this very much. It looks great. The weight, and you're right, this is heavy. It feels good though.
It's actually lighter than the one that I have. I have to do a comparison. I'm definitely going to do a comparison video, but anyway, it'll be interesting to see how they respond to our inquiries about what they've done tonight.
Let me see if I can find a cover tech back here to go on this thing. There we go. I found a cover tech. It's not, it's brass, but it should work. I'm glad I got my handy dandy Allen wrenches, because the ones that the little ones don't fit these cover techs, the screws. Trying to find the right size. There we go.
Little son.
I'm wondering if that cover text screw was holding in the chassis.
This is such a weird soundboard.
No.
Have you've actually been like trying to work out the soundboard this whole time?
I only did a little bit.
No, it won't
Early-
move.
earlier in the
trust
night.
me. I tried that with my Redeemer. It came out like a quarter of an inch. It's just,
Mine
I
doesn't
don't
move.
know.
Mine
how
doesn't
they
move at
do
all.
I swear the hilts are the chassis, as far as they're concerned. And nothing has changed.
I mean, it sounds different than the old veteran tier a little bit, but it's still very much functions the same.
It's not as loud.
So there we go. I put a cover tech on there.
Oh,
It's not
nice.
black because I don't have a black
Is that
one.
brass one?
Yeah, it's a
Is that
brass one.
brass?
Yeah, it's all I had. It's a brass, but it kind of
Nice.
matches the neck.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
That's perfect. I don't know, man. I probably don't even give a shit. I've got so many like smooth swing sabers at this point. That,
Oh no, I give a shit. I give a shit because when I saw that's the whole reason why I ordered that veteran tier because I thought I was going to get that first harvest soundboard.
are you
which I was
willing to
very
fight
curious
for
about.
me as your
For you, I don't-
bro? Like
I
say,
don't-
hey,
I
you
don't
know,
think
my friend
I don't think I
Darth
can, but I will mention that you were there, you ordered the same thing, and you got
Yeah,
the same setup that I did.
That's all I want out of life right now. I mean,
Yeah, so BK, we were expecting to get the first harvest soundboard as advertised on their website with smooth swing and 10 sound fonts, but we didn't get that. But we're confused because it's not the old veteran tier because I only had 3 fonts: Viridian, Crimson, and Gunmetal. And it's not Sabercore 3.0 because that only held 3 fonts as well, which also came with a micro USB charging port. This has a 2.1 millimeter recharge port and 8 fonts, but no smooth swing. So we're not really sure what what this is.
really, it's just
And
it's a mystery.
it came with their new thread-in LED blade, which I'm not a fan of. I mean, honestly, it works for this because I'm not dueling or anything like that, but and it's very bright. But as you can see here, it just doesn't. Well, actually, from the camera, it's just really bright. You can't tell. But yeah, it's okay. It works, I guess.
Main menu. Select optical frequency 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. Select sound intensity low. Select impact sensitivity 7. Select motion sensitivity 8. 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All settings saved. Ranger's blade.
No. Three, four, five. Select motion sensitivity 5. With 8.
What?
Yeah, BK. It's made by Sabertech and Golden Harvest, from what I understand, and it's actually listed on their website. So I'll show you real quick.
Have you come to the conclusion that the card is completely useless?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll go to soundboards here, and you can see First Harvest soundboard, $40, which is funny. It's only $20 less than a Golden Harvest, but it says that the First Harvest soundboard is an entry-level board. This board is used in our Veteran and Veteran RGB sabers. It features 10 sound fonts, auxiliary effects, programmable blade flicker, color change, and accelerometer for smooth swing motion detection. We didn't get any of that. 10 sound fonts, including 10 clash, 10 swing, ignition, deactivation, idle hum. 12 blade effect profiles. We didn't get that. And then smooth swing motion detection for 1-to-1 immersive swing sounds. Don't have that either. And then it comes with this demo video.
Choose blade effects.
See, that sounds like the Golden Harvest menu. And then you should get all the fonts and stuff too. So I'm going to email them and find out why we didn't get that when the description said that for the mystery boxes. And for me, it's worth it to send this back and get the upgrade.
Yeah, I would agree. But all the negatives aside, I mean, the hilt itself was
It's great.
still a great price.
Minus the clamp card. That's terrible.
Yeah, that really is. I mean, I have a Prodigal Son and the Redeemer that I have. And yeah, I mean the the magnets are always kind of a nightmare, but I don't know, they're not as bad as this. You know what you have
I
to
remember
do?
they had a problem with this in the past, and I thought their recent marks they had said that they had addressed this issue. But
No, not really. What I found is what I had to do is on the part of the clamp card that makes contact with the tactile switch, I had to add like 4 or 5 layers of just standard tape, like Scotch tape, just to kind of make it so you don't have to kind of make the board go down like this far. You just have to make it go down ever so slightly to make contact with that.
Well, that's part of the problem. How it teeters. That's terrible.
What I'm saying is tape really eliminates that. So you don't have to rock it so much. If you put 4 or 5 layers of tape where it makes contact with the tactile switch, you're only like moving it a little bit, and it's much more responsive. It's just sort of a design flaw, because I mean this thing is like that. That magnet with the adhesive is about 1/8 of an inch thick, and it's too thick. I don't know. This is something I've dealt with previously, although it's not quite as atrocious as it is here. I mean, make contact. You're lifting this thing up so far that it loses like magnetic adhesion, and it just flies off.
Flaws off. Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Look at this. That's how much play there is. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world, but
Only a Sith deals in absolutes. I would do what I must.
I like the grenade section a lot.
I hate these control boxes, though. They're just too big. And there's not enough space on the bottom for the second hand to go below it.
It doesn't
But
really
I
bother
still-
me too much. I've learned.
It bothers me, but I still think it's a great looking saber, though.
I've had this hilt for so long that I've really gotten used to it, and I've used it a lot. This is actually, it's weird. It's like the same weight, but it's just kind of like a little bit less abrasive on the grenade section here. I mean, no mistaking. We really made out really well with the hilt itself. I mean, the aesthetics of the thing is, I mean, it doesn't come close. It's not being accurate, and it doesn't come close to like. I have a Corbanth Neopixel, like a 89 Sabers Obi-Wan, and this is a lot more comfortable to hold than that thing. That thing's just kind of a nightmare, but I don't know.
For sure.
Once we get the proper soundboards in here, even with the threading and all that shit, I can accept it. Even with the clamp guard, I can accept it. We just need to get the proper. We need to get the proper soundboard in here. It just seems sort of like they had, like, oh man, what the fuck? They had these.
Yeah, none of that other stuff would matter to me if I had the other soundboard. BK, so I have the Eco Fallen. Now, I bought this with the regular Eco electronics, and I just put in an LGT Profi core, and it works great. But yeah, all of the new Eco Sabers can be interchanged with a standard LGT core. The battery's dead on this pretty much. Yeah. So let me charge this one.
That's battery.
Oh, I just
so
battery.
Let me ask Brian. Hey, Brian, do you have anything in the works? You're getting the shakes, dude. I need a new sound font. I want to know what this dude's working on.
He's working on your mama.
I was actually I watched The Intern, and I rewatched Kyberphonics, video, his demo for The Intern, It's definitely like it's a cool sound font. I like it. I just not enough to really pick it up. It's not unique enough for me to want to pick it up, but it's definitely a solid sound font. It really sounds good, but it's nothing like Gray Assassin, Taking a break.
Do you take commissions? Are you accepting commissions?
Oh no. Here we go.
Because I think I want to commission someone to make a Gray Paladin sound font. No commissions. Okay.
Oh, that would be so cool.
Yeah, I want to.
But it,
Need to go back to. I need to go back to Arctic Jedi and see if I can get him to do something for me.
If you made a Darth Paradigm sound font, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't have any idea where to begin. I really wouldn't. But...
Oh, I do. I know what I like and what I want and how I want it to get the right vibe or the right idea.
If you want to go ahead and do this thing, then I give you my blessing, because I don't have the head for that kind of stuff. But if you're like, oh yeah, dude, here's your sound font.
Well, that Keldor Knight that Arctic Jedi did, I worked with him on that, and he told him how many pairs I wanted. We tweaked the hum and the swings and stuff, and I chose all the quotes and stuff to go on there, and it turned out to be a really good font. And now he's selling that on saberfont.com. Well, I know when I paid Archie Jetta to do it, I think I gave him like $30 or something like that to get that font going for me, and then he ended up selling it on Saberfont, obviously for less. But since I was the first guy and he did all the work in the beginning, I threw him some extra to get started.
Was that like right before he started his criminal empire?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because all he had before that was the froze or whatever.
His my favorite sound font from him is his Revan. I like his Revan sound font. I'll be back.
Well, I think it's probably a good time to wrap it up here. It's going on 4 hours. Wow. And it's almost 4 a.m. for me. So
yeah, and
oh, you missed a lot, Tim.
You show up now? Hi, how you doing, Tim? As we're about to like freaking pass out. What have you been doing tonight, man? What I miss? Well, I think you have to.
Yeah, well, BK, I will say when I went to Arctic Jedi, and then he commissioned that Plo Koon font for me, and I kind of worked with all the sounds and stuff that I wanted him to do for it. And once he did it, like I threw him obviously more up front, and then I told him, yeah, you can sell this publicly when you're done. And that's what he did. So I understood that I paid more for it than, the average person did later. But honestly, if I had a Gray Paladin font, to me, it's something that I would really want. But also if people liked it and bought it, and then now they're just seeing Gray Paladin in there, then it's just as useful to me to go public, But yeah, I think that would be cool.
if there is a Gray Paladin sound font, it has to at some point say, "Here's Johnny," or like, "Here's Paladin," something like that. And it would be good to have what's her ass like whimpering in the background there. Yeah. So Darth Rage was wondering what went on. We can just basically sum up by saying that we both received the same exact hilt, only that Gray Paladins didn't for some reason have a cover tech wheel, and they both don't seem to have the Golden Harvest version 1 installed. They have some Saber Core 3.2 whatever the fuck situation going on. So it's a little bit of weirdness that we're gonna have to talk to Saberforge about, because they're supposed to have Golden Harvest V1 for their veteran tier. So it's a little bit of a weirdness afoot, you know. Other than that, weird.
Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna send a nice little email in the morning, see what's going on with this first harvest bullshit.
Yeah, I will too whenever I recover from this. Note to the galley: Romulan ale no longer to be
No longer to be served diplomatic functions. Oh, great movie. Star Trek 6 is still my favorite.
I love Star Trek 6. You know, our next live stream, we should just eschew Star Wars completely and just focus on Star Trek and see what happens.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's about it there. We will update everyone in the coming days with our contacts with Saberforge and seeing what the deal is with the first harvest soundboard. But we appreciate everybody joining us this evening, even though it didn't turn out quite as expected with the review of the first harvest, but we still both got great hilts. The odds of us getting the same hilt, crazy. That's awesome. And of course, the beer was flowing very nicely, and it was. I enjoyed addressing everyone's comments, and of course, hanging out with my good friend Scott over here. It's been great as always.
So, possibly, after the holidays, we'll have to reconnect and make plans for another soiree. And we're definitely going to.
Of course, these are becoming a regular thing. This is our fifth one now.
This guy is like, he's like my brother now. I don't know how he feels about me, but like just my my time like messaging him and interacting with he's a true friend. I don't mean to like sound like a weirdo or anything. It's just whatever. I feel about your
All right, everyone. Well, this has been fun.
Night.
I'm not going to be on. We're not going to do this again until after the holidays. So if we don't see any comments on our threads and other videos, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever you celebrate, and we'll see you in the new year.
Yes. All right. Take care, everyone.
Good night, my friend.
Good night. Good night. Later, brother.